Very good morning to all.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, audible, sir. Audible, sir. Sir, today's topic, sir.
Okay, so today we are going to have expert from IIT Roped, Professor Sudarshan Ayyan sir, and they are just going to join us in a few minutes. Actually, they are comfortable with Zoom. So, sir, they are like he is facing some technical issues. So we just call him, and he's saying that he's going to join in a few minutes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, he's expert in. Okay, so he's expert in some network science, theoretical computer science, cryptography, and all.
Crystallography, metal science, sir.
Cryptography, sir. Cryptography.
Cryptography.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Well,
Sir, when is the feedback form, sir? You will.
yeah. After now, it's a request to all. Please don't ask feedback form again and
Feedback
again.
form,
Yeah. We will post it in the last last 5 or 10 minutes.
Last session. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, good morning. I'm very sorry for the delay. It has been a long delay. In fact, 20 minutes delay. Very sorry.
Yeah. Good morning, sir. Yeah. No issue, sir. Good morning. So welcome. Your voice is not clear. Can you?
My voice is I just connecting on mic.
So good morning.
Now I think it should be clear, right?
Yeah, sir. Now it's much clearer. It's much clearer. So shall we start?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. So good morning. Dear participants, we have a speaker with us for today's session, Professor S.R.S. Ayyan sir from IIT Roped. So before starting the section, hello.
Yeah, you're audible, sir. Please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're very much audible.
Okay. So before just starting the session, I'm just going to give a brief introduction about the speaker. Okay. So Professor Sudarshan is Associate Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering at IIT Roped. Sir has earned his PhD from the most prestigious institute of India, that is IISc Bangalore. Okay, and his research interest lies in network science, theoretical computer science, cryptography, and evolutionary psychology. Okay, so he has guided multiple MTechs and PhD scholars, and moreover, he is famous for his well-known and popular online course, that is the Joy of Computing Using Python. And just want to share one thing with you, sir, that hope you remember some blur image of the incident. You were the panel expert at the time of my PhD proposal submission at Thapar in 2003.
Okay, right. I do know. Madam had called me, right? I forget the name of the madam, advisor.
Sir, Dr. Chalni Batra, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So honestly speaking, sir, suggestions given by you at that time, sir, like given us a new direction, and we started thinking in a different perspective, and it helped a lot. Thank you for that, sir. And and today we are here for more suggestions from your side, sir. And it is such an honor for us to have you today between us, sir. So without wasting more time, so please welcome Professor Sudarshan. Now over to you, sir.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Amritpalji. I also see a few people I might actually know. Are you people from, for example, Meenakshi Shastri? Are you at NIT right now?
Yes, I'm from IIT Una, sir. Yes.
IIT Una. Okay. No. So, Amritpalji, there are people from all other institutes too, is it? Amritpalji, your mic is...
Yes, sir. Yeah, sir. Can you please repeat your question, please?
No, I was asking if the scholars are from NIT only or from other places too?
No, sir. So from all around the India, sir. They are from
all around India.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
So we have around 800 plus registration. So we have a YouTube link for also, which is streaming. So but we only allow our limited participants here. So after that, we start streaming the YouTube link. Okay.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
So, firstly, all of you, I'm very sorry that I am late. Actually, first day I came, first hour, first session, I was very early there. And later on I realized that this is my session, this is not my session, and I left. And today, actually, it's my session, I totally forgot because the calendar invitation read every day, I was...
Every day, yeah.
So, on the Urvashi madam made it very clear, it's on 27th. She made it many times clear, but still it didn't register. I mean, I'm so sorry. I'm being a AD professor. Please don't. All right. So I have a small problem, and I have a sincere request to all of you. Because of my problem, I'll request you all. My problem is I have no stage fear. Right? If you people observed my statement, I said I typed that out. I have no stage fear. So if you can read the chat message. I said I have no stage fear, and I'm sure every single teacher has this today in front of the camera. Our fear is that the stage is missing, and we are very comfortable on the stage standing, and here we are sitting wearing headphones, earphones, not seeing anyone and talking to the camera. Our best doesn't come out if we sit in front of the camera. So I request all your help to please switch on the camera. Thank you, Meenakshi, for switching on the camera. I request Amritpalji is also on the camera. So I request all of you, I mean, whoever it's possible, I mean, not anyone who thinks it's possible for you to switch on the camera, please give me an impression of me talking to a few people. That will help me deliver my talk at the best. So finally, the benefactor will be you. You will get the best from my side. So please switch on the camera, but not your mic. Keep the mic muted, but please switch on your camera. All right. Oh, very nice, Rimaji. Thank you very much. All right. Anyone else? I'm very happy to see names here which are from everywhere in India. I see some names from names we can make out which zone of India we are from. I see some East people, West people, North people. I even saw some South people. Very happy to see the diversity of the crowd. I'm very happy that organizers have managed to get this diversity. Alright, so with this, let's start. I will promise that I will not bore you people. I will promise that I will not give you a talk which will go over the head, because as a research scholar, as a student, as also a teacher who has sat through many lectures, one thing that I repent in my life is all the precious time I have lost listening to the talks that makes no sense at all. Not just that, it goes over the head and it discourages us, correct? So there's a topic on sensor network, someone comes and gives a talk, the talk is not good, you will start hating the topic itself, right? So I will ensure that I will not be that person who will make you people hate this very topic. I will go ahead slowly with my research interests and what is it possibly that you people can do as part of this little topic that I am working on right now. Okay. Before that, I would like to ask you people, what do you expect from this talk? So that I can line, see, I have the slides as constant, I cannot re-prepare the slides, but I definitely can channelize my slides in such a way that it meets your requirement. Okay, so if it is, sir, I have not read a research paper, I find it difficult to read a research paper. Can you please tell me how one can go about doing literature survey? Or I'm very bad at writing, can you please tell me how we can possibly write a good research paper? Or can you tell me something from your field which is a problem which I can pursue and do my PhD? Alright, the last one is very unlikely because the problem that you're going to choose should be consensually between you and your advisor. You cannot go to your advisor and say, "Solution, give me a problem and I'm going to work on it." Right? Now, I suppose most of you are research scholars here, correct? Almost all of you are research scholars here, and you are here for this is called research training. The first year's introductory invocation kind of research training, correct? Okay. I would like to hear you people from at least until the number hits 10. I will not continue with my talk. I want at least 10 people to raise their hand, come forward, switch on their video, and then tell me what is it that they expect from this session. Roughly 5 minutes and we are into the talk. Okay.
The participants, you can like unmute your mic and you can speak to sir, no issues. Or you can chat, like drop your expectations in chat. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we have a Meenakshi Sastry, something that can give me a link to my thinking process for research.
Okay. So, good, Meenakshi. So we can always, so maybe you can unmute your mic and talk. If you talk, Meenakshi, others can also come forward. This is called the cascading effect in social networks, which happens to be my subject. When one person starts doing something, others also start doing the same thing. Right? So, Meenakshi, I know you personally well, so you should unmute your mic and talk to me, say hi to me. And
hello, sir. Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So actually, I want something that I written in the chat box, that some ideas that can give me some lead in my research work, that I want to start my PhD. So that's what I'm expecting.
Okay, good. All right, so Meenakshi says she wants a lead for her to carry forward in her PhD. That's the very first question that the PhD student generally has in his mind. How to proceed, right? I mean, that's what Meenakshi is trying to ask. More questions?
Yeah, another sir, like we have a participant from MTech first year who are just going to, like, they are entering in second year, and we have PhD scholars who are in their starting phase. So it's like beneficial for them if you like can them guide that. We all put so much efforts, but the efforts without direction, leads to not a good result. So it is like good if you can guide the newbies in the research to do some focused research.
Okay, right, perfect. So got the point. So how to carry out focused research? All right, next.
Yeah, from Ramesh Babu. Yeah. It's what is the overall approach in dealing with the problem? Another
approach in dealing with the problem. Okay, all right. More.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone else? Please go ahead. Ashish says good morning. Okay, go ahead. Please type in the chat window. I need to see. This is one of the, again, a good research question. When you want to understand your data, you should understand the sample of your data. Okay, if you are 76 people, okay, I should at least have some 5 to 6 people talking. Right, so Nidhi says that is totally basic of my research to technology we are using and what is currently going on. So what can lead to a good literature survey, says Anushka. Nidhi says what is currently going on in research. All right, more. All right, 2 more and we'll start. Just 2 more. Is it necessary to have quantitative analysis in the research? Okay. Right. Next. Last one. One down. Just one down and we'll start. Okay. Anyone else, please? If out of 80 people don't come forward, it means I'll be wasting my time. I with all due respect, so people should come forward and ask questions. We all are teachers. We all have this complaint. You see, students never come and ask us questions. But I have this big problem whenever I conduct FDP. No teachers ask any questions.
Yeah, it's true, sir.
How to read any research paper, says Anushka. Abdul Paji, go.
Yeah, just want to encourage our participants that it's the way that how Professor Sudarshan normally teach. I have attended his Joy of Computing course. So please participate, no issues. You can unmute yourself, and if you have some doubts, or you can just drop it in chat box. I am there. If sir is presenting some presentation, I will raise questions to the sir. Please be more interactive. Huh? Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to illustrate to you people with a very funny example. Very funny. You will even wonder what is happening in the talk, but I have to use this example. It's a very powerful example. Okay. All right. Every day, night, roughly, okay, at least twice or thrice a week.
So just one interruption, sorry.
Sure.
There is a very good question, like what should be focused more while working, quality research work or publication?
Wonderful. Very nice, Dr. Paul, it's an excellent question that I think every research scholar should keep in mind, right? So, firstly, whatever I'm going to talk is not my gyan to you people, okay? Whatever I talk is backed by a good deal of data analytics. If I'm telling you something, it is something that great people have told researchers. If I'm telling you something to not do, quote unquote, a few things, it means that some people have told that this method will not work. Don't try this method. Alright? Okay. So basically everything will be backed by evidence and some historical anecdote, let's say. Okay. So getting back, every day night, roughly at least twice or thrice a week, what I do is I close the doors of my house, my room, and I have a karaoke system with me. Okay. I switch on my favorite song and I sing aloud. I sing aloud, very aloud. In fact, people who pass by my house will come and tell me the next day, especially you were singing aloud. They will not say you were singing well, they will just say you were singing aloud. You can guess how I sing, right? Now forget people who come, who walk outside the windows. My own people, I have my wife and 2 kids, okay? I have a 2-year-old who starts crying when I start singing. Right? I have a 6-year-old who, goes away to another room and then closes his door when I'm singing. Okay? And my wife says, "Oh my God, started." Okay, this is how she starts. No, they are very sweet people. I love my family members, but they also love me. But they don't want me to sing. But I want to sing. It gives me a lot of happiness, especially some songs, some lyrics, some music. It gives me a lot of happiness. It energizes me. I am a better person when I sing, at least, let's say, half an hour every week. Now, here is a problem. Here is a problem. Should I worry that, oh my God, others don't like me singing? Or should I say, I don't care much about others singing, I sing for myself. It gives me happiness. Right? And if it's troubling for others, maybe I'll close the door. I will sing in a little low tone, maybe I will not sing aloud. Okay? I will plaster my windows so that the sound becomes soundproof, it doesn't go outside. Here is according to me, in my humble opinion, a very good example of how, analogously speaking, one's research should also go. Imagine I were to sing, thinking, what will my neighbor think? What will my wife think? What will my kids think? My kid wants a lullaby. My wife wants me to sing a romantic song. My neighbors wants me to sing a rap song. And their son wants me to sing a pop song. Which song can I sing so that it matches all of them? There's a quote in English which says, "He who tries to please all perishes." Right? I cannot try to please everyone. The most important person here is me. I want to feel happy. I sing for myself. Very similarly, very similarly, let me underline this. If there's one thing that you want to take away from today's discussion is this fact. Very similarly, I'm sure you all got the analogy, right? We have to do the kind of research that we are fond of, right? We should not care what my neighbor thinks, my friends think, my relatives think. What will be my number of citations? What will be my H index? What will be the number of publications? What is the portal that I am submitting? These things. Now the point is, then you can say, so then where will the quality come? Right? You can say all these things. Who will give me job? This is where I will invoke data analytics. You take two most important information. I request you all to even make a note of these 2 things. Okay. Point number 1. Any top researcher, take all the Nobel, take all the Fields medalists, take all ACM award winners, Turing winners, right? All of them, not excluding even one person, all of them have one thing in common. Just one thing in common. That one thing is they did their share of research for themselves. They went very curious, why is this happening? And then they pursued the path. On that path, they arrived at answers. And once they arrived at answers, they thought, oh my God, I think I have got a nice answer. I have to gossip about this piece of science or engineering with someone. And they went out and spoke to some people who are like-minded. And the like-minded people said, you have to write this up. This is a wonderful piece of work. You have to write this up, Isaac Newton. You should not keep it to yourself. Isaac Newton writes Principia Mathematica. Big book, this thick, 3-4 volumes. Why would he write that? He did not write that and submit ITT transactions. He wrote that for himself because he thought it's a wonderful idea. I want to communicate this to somebody. If I don't communicate and die, I will not be a happy soul. So let me communicate. He did that for himself. Not just him, not just Albert Einstein, let's say, who came about with the theory of relativity and photoelectric effect for which he got his Nobel Prize. They all worked because they were passionate, period. Right? You cannot even show a single person who worked for society and said, I will come out with this idea because I will have a project proposal on this. I will pursue this idea because the world wants us to solve this problem. No, none of these problems till date which were solved so far were solved with that kind of attitude. All the scientists, not excluding even one, show me one person who did not pursue passionately. Charles Darwin, who came about with evolutionary theory of evolution, he was a rich brat, spoiled brat. He didn't know what to do in his life. All he did was wake up, eat, enjoy life, drink, and then sleep. Then he said, I have enough money to spend the next 5-6 generations. What is the meaning of life? Let me just go and do some charity. He went and did some charity. He gave money. Thought that by giving money he gets some pleasure and happiness. You will observe this. Bill Gates, from Bill Gates to Buffett, all of them realize that making money, they have made enough money right now. Or they can live, 100 generations can live right now. What is important right now is to seek happiness. Then they realize that happiness isn't giving. That is when they start charity organizations. Similarly speaking, Charles Darwin also realized I will give money. He gave money, and then still he did not find that satisfactory. And later on he came across, there's a folklore basically. Later on he came across a very beautiful writer by Aristotle, who said, if you want to achieve true happiness in your life, pursue the life of an intellectual. Says Aristotle. Okay, go through his last book. Okay, he has written some 7-8 volumes of books, very, very thick, this thick. In his last book, he says, if you want to live a life of happiness, filled with happiness, you must and should do something intellectual in the day. Read something, think something, discuss something. Alright, that is what today we call research. Find something out newly. And Charles Darwin's thinks, here is where I found there's a Japanese term called ikigai. Let me just write that down. Ikigai. Okay, ikigai is purpose of life. Okay, something that you love, something that also gives you the bread. You love doing that and it gives you the bread as well. That is called ikigai. I type that there. It is also a book that you may want to read. Okay, Charles Darwin came about with this theory of evolution. Okay, became very popular. People from the church said this is all crap. Earth is only 7,000 years old. Charles Darwin said no, it will appear like a few million years old. Okay, and then he writes his book. I'm sure all of you know the name of the book. What's the name of the book? Anybody who can type? As you type, I'll go ahead. Okay, after finishing the book, he observed something that confused him. He observed that praying mantis is like it's like grasshopper-like insect. You would have seen it in the gardens. Okay, a praying mantis. After the mating is over between the male and female praying mantis, he observed that something very mind-blowing happens. He observes that the female eats up the male immediately after the mating process. Okay? And he starts wondering, he talks about struggle for existence, survival of the fittest. How come the male praying mantis doesn't run away from them? I mean, he was completely stumped. He didn't know what could be the answer. This thick book that he wrote, Theory of Evolution, right? That book made no sense because here is a flaw in the argument. And then he works for another few months and then comes about with a beautiful theory saying why this happens and why still his theory holds. Okay, even a bee or a wasp comes and if you didn't know, a bee comes and stings you. Once the bee stings, the bee dies. I don't know if the people know it or not. A bee stings you and the bee dies. How does it die? Because to inject the poison into your body, it must release its digestive system. It must become into 2 pieces. Only then the bee can bite you. But it bites you. It must will die. Still it dies. Why? Charles Darwin gave an answer for this question. He said it is collective fitness. Right? Why am I talking about this? A spoiled brat who didn't know what to do in his life, okay, went behind Aristotle's theory of pursuing intellectuality and then came about with beautiful theory of evolution, and further he continued because he was confused, and on his deathbed he was very happy that his life is now fulfilled given that he has pursued the line of an intellectual. Started at the time of Isaac Newton and Charles Darwin. Today, if we look at what is research, today in 2020, Okay, especially given the COVID-19 crisis, if you have contemplated on what is research is publication. Right? You write, send, it gets published, that is research. Right? I have one question for all of you. One very important question. I want you all to answer that. Okay? Why should teachers do research? Especially the publication-based research. Why? We all ask this question, right? So this person is watching television all the time from morning till evening. You go and ask, why is he watching? What is so interesting on the television? Similarly, with all our heart and soul, we are behind publications. Why? A teacher should go inside the classroom, teach and come out. Why does a teacher require to publish? What is the need for a teacher to publish? You want me to do research? I will do the research of Isaac Newton. Okay, who wrote books? I will write books. If you didn't know, research in humanities department, if you have any humanities researcher, go and talk to them. They don't write papers much. They write books. Thick books. Right? Why are we asked to publish? Why is a PhD based on our publications? Okay, why is your PhD based on the number of publications and the quality of publications? Why? Let's crack this problem first. Why? So Abhilash says that whatever work is there can be reached by everyone, like in Einstein, his work was kept under papers for a very long time, only when he published his work. Okay, so today we have the internet era, we can always keep it on our websites. Why do we publish? Right? See, you all are in your first year PhD. You all are asked to do your research so that you can communicate, so that the papers get accepted, so that you have publication, so that you get your jobs. Why did this happen? Okay, here's the reason. Again, please concentrate. These are all very important things. Sometimes we get these questions and we don't have a share of answers. The reason is, after the post-Isaac Newton's era, people realized that teachers should also get into research. Why? If not teachers, nobody else will get in. We should formulate what is called a university. In a university, people should come and teach. Apart from teaching, they should also, because only a teacher knows, if you say algorithms as a subject, what is algorithms? I know it, you know it, because we teach the subject of algorithms. What is thermodynamics? I know it, you know it, because as this is, let's say we teach thermodynamics. I'm not one, I'm just saying this as an example. Right? So only a teacher will know how much the subject is developed. Only he or she will know gaps in the subject. Only he or she is eligible to fill the gap of the subject. I will give you one small problem I face whenever an industry person comes and talks to me. Whenever they come and talk to me, it is a sad moment for me. Generally. Not always. They will come and ask me a very rudimentary question from the most basic of all subjects. They will say, I have a great idea. Can we do this? Then I will realize there is a very simple regression problem in the first course in data analytics, let's say even machine learning or AI or whatever you call it. Why is it that this person doesn't even know this much? Or what he is saying is simple dimensional reduction. Why doesn't he know all these things? Person from industry is very specialized. He only does one kind of work. He may not really know. State of the art subject, right? But you know it because you teach it. That is why the university came up with a rule that if there is one person who is very eligible to become an Isaac Newton, like researcher, it must be an academician. Only a person who teaches, knows the gaps in the subject, he should be empowered to do research. Although others can also do research, but let us bring in this rule to incentivize that people should do research, especially from the universities. They just said you should do research. They never said you must publish. The word publish came later. Let's understand that. Right? They just said you must do research. You should be actively finding new things. You should not just read the book and then going and presenting and then coming back. You must better the book. You must write a better book. Writing a better book, if everybody starts writing books, nobody will be able to read it. So write a small book, maybe a small chapter, a small section extra in a topic, right? And that is what people started calling paper. Alright, paper is basically a small sectional addition to the existing text. While text is the literature, whatever is known in the subject, okay, whatever one additional point you put became the paper. Now, don't you think after COVID there was a huge demand for masks, huge demand for sanitizers, with demand comes supply. Correct? We all know that. With demand comes supply. With supply comes business mindset. With business mindset comes greed. Alright? So there's a very popular quote that mankind was a very happy species until money entered his home. The moment man was given some money and said now you can exchange, man only looked at maximizing the currency. He did not look at living, he did not look at staying happy and things like that. I repeat, a university teacher should research. We need more Isaac Newtons to come out with more gravity-like concepts. Let us bring in the culture of research into universities by requesting the teachers to not just read their books, but to add new contents to it. How do they add? If everybody starts writing book, it will be difficult. So let us keep a place where people will submit papers, and the papers will become collected extra units, which will be circulated to everyone. And we understand that everybody cannot do research in every single topic. Let them specialize. Let us come about with this degree called PhD. And once that came, demand supply happened. Everybody, we all want to know, right? If our kid goes to a school, we want to know if the school is good or not. How will we get to know if school is good or not? We look at its ranking. We look at its teacher. We look at the output. We look at placement. How do you know if I just tell you idea about placement is very good? You will ask what is the max salary, what is the average salary, what is the mean, what is the median, and all that. Correct? So even they started asking, you are publishing, where are you publishing? You will be promoted, you will not be promoted because you are not publishing well. How would you quantify this well? That is when your IEEE, ACM, all these agencies started. They said that we will take care of this, you don't worry. We will take care of it. What we will do is, you outsource. Why do you want to do all your research? You outsource the research to us, we will carry it out. We will ensure that we give you quality. They said, you submit the paper, we will get the external experts, okay, and they will evaluate and we will publish it for you. But you must pay us some money. GREED, greed came in here. None of these, I'm telling it very boldly, none of these publishers, at least today, I don't know of one. I don't know of a publisher who is doing it for the sake of enhancing sciences. All they look at is profit at the end of the year. And unfortunately, we become scapegoats for it, so do the research scholars. How? IEEE or ACM or any publisher, they have two models. One model is, you submit the paper, it is free. Okay? But you must pay to download the paper. Get the money, correct? Just give me, just. Okay, so you pay to download the paper, or you don't want us to charge you for downloading the paper. Okay, fine, we will not charge you. Then you must pay money to publish your paper. We will call it open access. Alright, you must pay us. Recently, you observe after COVID-19, how many computer science people are here? Most of you are computer science here? All of you are computer science. Okay, almost all are computer science. Okay, so post COVID-19, people have realized, especially computer science domain, we used to go to a foreign country, eat bread, jam, coffee, tea, all that. It would incur some cost for them. So they would charge $500. Although it is not fine, $500 you can go live in 5 days. An Indian especially can go live for 50 days and then come back, not just 5 days. Our kacha is just $5 to $10 a day. But then they are charging $500. We said, chalo, okay. But today, it is all online. Still they charge the same money. They charge at least $150. They say, you are not coming, so kacha thoda kam hai hamara, koi baat nahi. Hum aap $150 de do. $150 kyun dena hai bhai? Why do we spend $150 for my intellectual exchange of my ideas? Right? If you question this is unfortunately or fortunately the system that is developed. I talk so much. If I'm given the chair of IEEE whatever journal or ACM journal, I will do the same thing. We all need money, right? Unfortunately, we have converged to a mechanism where research is outsourced. Research is publication based, and these people have come out with yardsticks. They will say impact factor, they'll say citations, they'll say H index. Nobody, on my Facebook, I see this again and again. people post, I got a paper in this place. What is the paper? Nobody will say. They will only say, is jagah mein paper chap liya main. Okay? Even if you ask them, what is the paper, please, why do you worry about all those things? Tell me, how is your life? It's how they ask. Okay? So, this is unfortunately the incentive mechanism that the society has made to empower these journals and conferences, etc. Nothing stops us from breaking it. How do we break it? Already, there is a very nice committee formed in India in the National Education Policy. I think as part of it only this was formed. I don't know. I don't have the right information, but I know of this committee headed by the ex-director of IASC. He said, why do you people have an internal committee for PhD? All you people have an internal committee. 3-4 people are there. They will supervise your thesis. I will give it to you in writing. I'm also part of it. I'm also part of research committees. None of us will go through your thesis. We'll only say, कितना publications है? 4 है, चलो ठीक है. Ask me after I finish the PhD defense or PhD evaluation. If I come out, ask me a 1-mark question about the thesis. I will not be able to answer. Now, look at where the world is going. You see, this is again a huge problem. I know my kid the best. If there's a problem with my kid, I should treat the kid. Why should I outsource this treatment to some outside agency, right? Or your advisor should pick 3 people who know the subject, right? So now, the idea is we all over-trust the publications. Given this over-trust, everybody only talks about the number, the portal. Nobody worries about the content of the research. Nobody worries. And everybody evaluates you based on your content only. Alright? But trust me, I have a feeling, this is my little prediction, post-COVID-19 things are going to change. How it's going to change, I don't know, but I have a feeling teaching research will get separated. This is my prediction, but anyways, getting back, hoping that there will be no such change. You people continue doing your PhD, I will not discourage you people. So getting back, this is heavily outsourced, we must understand it. They say, if you want to break the rules of the game, you must know the rules of the game. You know what is what, you know why publication is done, and then if you try publishing, and then if you try doing your research, you will not feel bad. Tomorrow if you get a rejection from a place, you will not feel bad about it. You will say that, fine, I did my share of research, I sang, if neighbors don't like it, what do? I will try to sing in a way that they will like, maybe 30%, but 70% I will sing for myself, not for anyone else. Why? That's how historically people have done their share of research. All successful people from Richard Feynman to today's CNR Rao from IAC, who was a Bharata Ratna, all of them did their research for their own sake. Okay? None of them, by the way, worked hard. Now, they are all very lazy people actually. They only worked what interests them. But when they worked on it intensely, it appears like it is hard work. Okay. This was my first topic. So what the first topic was history of research. Okay, let me just write that down so that it's recorded. History of research. Find your wiki guy. Know how the field got started, how it is outsourced, why we should know the rules of the game. Right? So that tomorrow if you want to violate the rules of the game, you at least know the rules of the game. Okay, that's the first point. Second point, okay, I'll ask the question. Should my research be of any use? That's my second point. First point is know the history of research. Don't break your head much about these publications, etc. You must have it, but it will come. Don't break your head much. I'll even tell you how to ensure that you get that and you get to sing at the same time. People also like how to do that. I'll tell you at the end. Okay. So, second point, should my research be of any use? I would like to hear your opinion on it. Again, I will talk with data analytics in mind. I will not tell you my personal jam from my desk. I am not a great person. Nobody is a great person. The collective is great. Take top 100 researchers and see what they did. Supreme Court, every time it passes a judgment, you know what it does? It looks at the history of similar judgments. Quotes that, says, exactly like this sometime before happened. Be it a corruption case or a case of harassment or a case of plagiarism or a case of murder, you see exactly this kind of case happened in 1980. This kind of judgment was passed, also passing this kind of judgment. If it was the first time all the juvenile case that happened for the first time in the Supreme Court. They didn't know how to handle it. That's why they dragged it for 2-3 years. That happens. But if it's happened already, it's very easy. Similarly, let us quote history and learn from it. Let us not say, this is how I want to do research. Let us see how Richard Feynman has done his research, Albert Einstein has done his research, Alan Turing has done his research, and then try to see if we can follow their footsteps. Coming to the second point, let us follow their footsteps and ask, should my research be of any use? Anybody? Meanwhile, I'll open a small slide where I will suggest you a couple of books. Should my research be of any use?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but then if you look at 95% of the research that is done, they are generally useless. There are some doctorate holders here, including me. Okay, let us all confess. I am confessing. My research, according to me, is completely useless. I say that. Very boldly I say that. No, I am happy that it's useless. I am declaring. Can someone who has published a paper so far declare this, that my paper has been useless according to me? I am confessing. Definitely it's useless. I am happy that it's useless. Right? So why am I talking about this? Every research scholar has this panic-struck moment in his or a PhD when he says, oh, I'm spending so much of time, so much of energy, so much of effort, and I'm doing something that is so insignificant. 5 years I did not get married. For 5 full years, my friends who joined that industry have one house, one wife and 3 children, but I have nothing. Right? Generally when you do a PhD, so some people get married. I'm just talking about the general sample. Okay, so let's say I did my PhD from IAC and IAC, most of them are unmarried, 30, 31, and then still nobody close to their PhD defense. They will feel this way, and they will feel, of what use is my research? If I go and feed some bread to a dog, it is of some use. Why should I do this kind of research, right? Okay, so Amritpal says main issues which all research scholars face, as we have already told, we are judged on the basics of publication only. Correct. Game of publications we all know. So always there is a do or die situation for scholar. Correct. Srinivas says your words are exactly true, sir. Neha says very informative. Ridhima says it means you should go for patents on a research work to make it useful. Good question. Good question. Ridhima says then should we do patents? Patents are generally useful. Otherwise patent वो लोग लेते नहीं. They will evaluate the patent and only then take, right? This will be of some use tomorrow. Okay, so I'm opening my slide. Just give me a minute. Okay, meanwhile, let's take a quick 1-minute break while I get my slides ready. I had prepared research slides, but I felt by talking to you people, it is good not to get into the technical aspects. This seems to be, see, I asked myself in the first year of my PhD, what kind of talk I would have liked hearing. I thought it is not about look at this topic, look at that topic, look at this problem, look at that problem. So why do I look at these problems? Of what use is these problems? Where is my life going? These questions require an answer more than, let's say, research questions. Okay, so here are my slides. I'm coming to the last part of my slides. In fact, the very last slide was this, which I wanted to share. So as you people can see the slides, just a minute. Chrome tab, 1 second. Okay, can you all see this book?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The usefulness of useless knowledge.
Correct. So the usefulness of useless knowledge. Okay. Just think about it. Make a note of it. Okay. Please and please buy this book. It's a very strong suggestion. If you cannot afford the book, please tell me. I will get you this book. I want one research scholar to do well in his or her life. I don't mind spending that money on a research scholar of a country. It's a must buy. Please buy this book. Read it completely. By the way, what do you think this book might have? What do you think the book might have?
Like how the useless things go into some usefulness.
So then, if that is the case, then I should say, first day when my PhD student comes and says, "Sir, what problem should I work on?" Work on something that is useless. It is very useful to work on something useless. Right? It sounds like a conundrum. It sounds like opposite ends. Right? You're saying the useful, and then you say it is useless. Right? What would this be? Okay, it requires depth. See, you talk to 100 people in your own society, in your own surrounding, 99 of them will not make sense. You know that, any problem for that matter, be it COVID or be it economy, they will just be panicking, they will just, jump into conclusions. Only 1 or 2 people out of 100 will be their intellectuals. Right? And it is such intellectuals who have written this book. This book was written by the director of the Princeton Institute of Advanced Studies. It is not written by Sudarshan. It is, see, title is very easy to coin. Anybody can create a title like this and put their name. A foreigner name, everybody will buy, at least in India. Right? So it is not written by Tom, Dick and Harry. It is written by the first author, as you can see, is Abraham Flexner, was rather the first director of the Princeton Institute of Advanced Studies. The second one, Robert Dishcraft, is the current director of the Princeton Institute of Advanced Studies. The current director Robert thought that Flexner's essay that he wrote about usefulness of useless knowledge several decades ago is still very valid and we must redo it as a new book, and he wrote this book. What is this book all about? I will make you people watch a 3-minute video right now. I'll give you the video. Just give me a minute. Okay, it's taking time. Maybe I'll explain the video to you people and later on send the link. You can watch it. If you take all great inventions ever done, again, let's use the Supreme Court's algorithm. If there's a case, let's look at the history, how it was handled. Now I have a case. What kind of research should I do so that it's useful to mankind? Everybody agrees, correct? We should do something that's useful. So I am the first year PhD student. I look into the history, see how did people do some useful research. If I take 100 top inventions in the world, none of them, I repeat, none of them were carried out with the intention of being useful. They all, I repeat, all were accidents. All of them. Show me one piece of research. Tell me who invented internet and why did they invent? Tell me who invented microwave and why did they invent? There will be some name for the 4th standard quiz student, to win the competition, that's all. Otherwise, the person wouldn't invent it for the sake of inventing telephone or telegram or radio. It is all sheer accident. You know how microwave was invented? 2 researchers were playing with laser. Okay, when they were playing with laser, there was chocolate in the pocket. The chocolate melted. They realized this kuch to hai. How could this light, okay, which does not harm me, I cannot feel the heat, but did melt the chocolate which is inside the cover, and nothing happened to the cover. Okay, and then slowly they came about with the idea of microwave. The idea of GPS. The Sputnik project, if people know of it, the Sputnik project, make a note of it. The Sputnik project and the GPS, just take a look. The Sputnik project, 2 kids were playing with one-way GPS. Then they realized that why should it be this way? It could be this way also. If we send it this way, they will get to know where I am. And the GPS was invented. Internet came about from what is called the ARPANET, ARPANET, Advanced Research Project Administration Network. It was something to do with defense. They wanted to communicate, they didn't know how to communicate. They realized that we can use phone lines to communicate. Phone lines were meant for telephones, analog telephones. They thought, yahan pe hum bits bake sakte hain. We can send bits. And wow, information is all about bits. Said, shut up, right? And accidentally they realized that we can send information through telephone lines, not just analog voice. And telephone line became fiber optic cables to today's wireless communication, as you people know, right? After wireless networks, you people know that we have advanced tremendously. It all started with an accident. That is what this book says, the usefulness of useless knowledge. It says, not even a single piece of research so far, excluding maybe one or two, which would have happened again out of randomness. Okay, all of them have been an offshoot of a basic research question. So, moral of the story is try to make your students, try to make your colleagues and you yourself as a researcher, try to ask questions that interest you, that need not have any meaning. Accidents happen, it will have some meaning. A great researcher once said, there are only two types of research. Research which is applied and research that is yet to be applied. Pick any useless question. People meddle with mathematics, arithmetic, basic arithmetic. They said 8 to the power of b modulo 6, what is the remainder? They call it number theory. Atrociously useless topic, they thought, in 1900s. They thought this has never had any application, this is not having any application, this will not have any application. But today, computer science stands tall because of its applications from number theory in cryptography. Alright? Amazing piece of work done. They never thought, Srinivasa Ramanujan's work, he never thought it will be applicable in physics. It's applicable in some very advanced physics today. So there's only applicable and applied research. There's nothing like this will not be applied research. Why? A question is a question. And you must ask the question for its own sake. And only an academician can ask this question, because in a university we don't have this pressure of performing. They will not say finish the product by this time. They will say take your own time. If you want to work on something that involves psychology and operating systems, if there is some link, go ahead with that link and then see whether it will get something or not. Right? So, being bold is very important. Understanding that historically speaking, Supreme Court's algorithm, in the past, every single researcher has pursued his passion. He has worked on what interests him. He has worked on seemingly useless questions. Most of your PhD questions that you work on right now is either not applicable or will be applicable after 10 or 20 years. And this is called the Ortega hypothesis. Please take a look at it. It says, there is nothing called a Nobel Prize. A Nobel Prize is a brick on a big wall, well cemented and bricked by several people. The first person who keeps a brick on top of this wall becomes tall. But we should not forget the other bricks that are there on the wall. Okay? So coming back to the second point that I said, first was history. Second point was usefulness of useless knowledge. Do not worry about the applicability of your work. Work simply because you have a nice question that interests you and you like singing closed doors. Know something? If I continue singing closed doors for the next 1 year, that is enough practice for me to become a good singer. You must know this. It is not that I will continue to be a bad singer. I will jog. I cannot jog beyond 500 meters on the first day. But if I keep jogging, I can be a marathoner at the age 60 also. So when you keep doing it, keep doing what you're passionate about, I'm sure you people will converge to that state where you become an expert. When Alan Turing said, here is a computational model, people laughed at him. Said, what is computation? There is nothing beyond a simple calculator. You're talking about computation. And today we all study a subject called theory of computation, one full subject in computer science, if you people know. Right? People will come and say that this is useless on day one, but then with time if you pursue, every single thing has its share of application. Okay, so let me just quickly take a look at some of the messages that are being posted here and ignoring given that I'm in the flow of talking. So, patent was within us idea, and then Rohit says, every institute for us, they don't bother what kind of research is doing, but context should be done, reforms will be done, and reforms in political organizations. Perfect, Rohit makes perfect sense, that's how it is. But then we all should understand what the problem is and then try to sort of, bring the hands together to clap. We understand there is a problem in the world. At the same time, we should not be dismal by saying that nothing can be done about it. I'm sure I'm a very happy academician. I'm a next door academician. I'm extremely happy in my life. People need not give you a Nobel Prize. You can give one Nobel Prize to yourself. If you're a happy researcher, you're a Nobel laureate. As simple as that. With all my feathers on my crown, let me declare that I am as happy as a Nobel laureate. I don't think Nobel Prize will give me more happiness. I'm very happy every day in the morning. I'm excited about the problems that I look at, the research questions that I am tackling, and the kind of discussions I have with my students. That is more than enough. Correct? Okay. So Amritpalji, do I have 5 more minutes time? How much time do I have?
Yes, sir. So no issues. You can. We have a session till 12, sir.
12. So you tell me 15 minutes before when I should stop, I will try to wind up.
No issues. Unlike talk is very interesting, sir. It's up to you.
Thank you. Okay, so going ahead, I was just telling you that it's a brick on the wall and I sing for my own sake, and then I am happy I give myself a Nobel Prize. But then promotion people, recruitments, etc., they expect you to publish. Publication is a correlation that will happen. Alright, so if there is some pimple on your nose, you should not go and break the pimple, you should look at the root cause of the pimple. It's within the body. Okay, research is also like that. If the publications are not coming, probably the pursuit of passion is not happening. You're not working towards the useless knowledge in quotes, as Flexner says. You're probably not aware of the history of research. You're probably not aware of how reviewers read your papers, because of which you get dejected when they send you bad reviews, right? See, you have worked on your paper for 1 full year. Why should I care about 20 minutes review that a reviewer gives? Probably I did not convince him properly, maybe I should write it better. We should not feel dejected. Okay, so let me go ahead with more points here. Alright. What is the use of paid journals and paid publications, says Srinivas. Yeah, that's right. So there are paid journals and paid publications. It's a different model. That's all, we cannot help it. When we are in India, we should do inclusive politics. We cannot do politics of particular religion or what is my favorite and things like that. This is again political, and it has happened that way. We talk so much about our education. Right? I'll give you one quick example before I go ahead with the next point. I went to a school once, okay? Top class researchers came there and then gave talks. They had only one thing to tell all the students there. Do not do exam-based studies. Study for the sake of knowledge. Yeah, right. Who are these people? They all are researchers who do publication-based research. And then they go to the schools and say you should do knowledge-oriented studying, not exam-oriented. Exam for the kids is publications for us. Right? Once we stop doing this, once we see the point here, we can go and teach them what is the point. Right? So we should stop doing this publication-oriented research. We are not telling the kid, do not go for your exam. We are saying don't keep exam in mind. You know, keep your knowledge part in mind. Sir, आप बस ज्ञान दे रहे हो. How do we know? बस knowledge के लिए मैं पढ़ूं तो what if I flunk in the exam? There is this brilliant piece of psychological research called be process oriented, not goal oriented. Okay, I will come there. That's the next point. Okay, be process oriented, not goal oriented. What is the difference, sir? I'm just using English jargons here. What do you mean by process? What do you mean by goal? I feel they are different. No. Even in our own literature, people have said, do not be goal oriented, be process oriented. I will quote that in the next point. I will finish these points. Anyways, paid journal, paid publications, that's the rule of the world. We cannot help it. We have to tactfully handle it, play that game, do some inclusive politics. How reform will come, sir, it is difficult. So as we all say, we should be part of reformation. For example, I take the bold step of not giving you a technical discussion. I came outside the paradigm. You should also come outside the paradigm and listen to me and probably accept this norm, right? I'm just giving you an example of Devabrata Burman. So this is just an example that we have to stay a little different. If we are asked to do something, maybe let's do it 80% of the times, 20% of the times, let's do something that interests us, correct? So reform will come when we all get together and we talk boldly, understand what is what, use the Supreme Court's algorithm, look into the history, and if you all look into the history, if you all know what is research, then we all will condemn bad research. The point is, majority of them do not understand this history. That's why they follow like, blindfold. Correct? Okay. Good morning. Nice to meet you all of you, etc. Okay. Why paid journals are allowed in India? There should be some mechanism to fund these journals, and it is through payment. But trust me, I will say something about paid journals. Take a look at this peerage of science. This is coming up big time. Everything will be free is my prediction. Take a look at this peerage of science. Today, I have this homework for all of you. Please take a look at this and also submit your work here in the future. There is a small wave coming up. See, we all keep saying, I will write in the book only. I will not use WhatsApp. I will not use email. We all know, without a smartphone, we cannot walk out right now. How will you book your taxi? How will you shop in? I went to Decathlon recently to buy some sports stuff. Okay, they said you should have an app, otherwise you are not allowed to enter inside. You pay online there and take the product and then leave. The customary cash stuff doesn't work there. What am I trying to say? I cannot be an outlier and say I will be like this only from the 1980s. World changes. Similarly, the publication world also is changing very rapidly. People are observing it and they are threatened. All the publishing agencies are now threatened. They know very well that you can publish your work on your homepage. If you give a nice YouTube talk, people will listen to that more than coming to ACM and then clicking and paying $20 and then buying the paper. They are understanding this part. Very soon this free system will come. Maybe we have to wait and watch. That's why researchers are a wonderful part of research era in the history of mankind. You will see a lot of changes happening, I am sure about it. Okay, so please share feedback link. I don't know what that means. Anyways, good example, sir. Says Amandeep. Stigma says, what type of reforms are needed for Indian researcher? Tell me, sir. Impressive knowledge from session. Says so. History. Okay, so JC was in the principle of working radio. However, Marconi used it for making radio dependent in SNM. Okay, anyway, that's history. All right, getting back. The third point is goal-oriented orientation versus process orientation. I'm going to quote one line from Bhagavad Gita. Can you all guess what is that line? That's not Bhagavad Gita. It's today standard Hindi statement. Many of you know it. There's a song made out of it.
Yeah, so Karam Karo Fal Ki Chinta Na Karo, something like that.
Exactly. Karam Karo Fal Ki Chinta Na Karo. Okay. In Sanskrit, it goes like this: Karmani eva dikharaste mahapalesha tadachana. Doing your duty is being dutiful is your headache. That's it. Nothing beyond that. Karma means your duty. Just do that. Don't worry about the fruit of this karma. Okay. Why did they say that? They never said that you will not get your fruit. They never said that do your work, don't take your fruit and then leave. They said that fruit will come. But if you worry so much about your fruit, you will not be able to do your duties properly. Which is commonsensical. Say, I'm not invoking religion here. It's a commonsensical statement. Today, very nicely proven by psychology research. They have done the following research. They have observed that people who are very focused about getting something done and worry only about that, it happens to you. Remember, we procrastinate. जब हमारा कुछ बेचना होता है ऑनलाइन या कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट करके बेचना होता है या कुछ वर्क होता है ऑफिस का. If we keep worrying about it, hours together, we just worry. We don't start the work. Right? If you keep that in mind and keep working, it will not happen. But if you break that into pieces and love the process of writing, love the process of research, than the end result of publication, people have observed in mice, in rabbits, in dogs, in human beings, they have observed that if you break the given task, given goal into several pieces, and follow the process more than keeping the goal in mind, but be aware of the deadlines. You should not say that I am doing process-oriented research. I don't care about deadlines. You should care about deadlines too, but then worry more about focus. If you are worrying about goal only 80% of the time, make it 80-20, 20-80. Right? Make process 80%, goal 20%. Imagine you are playing football. Okay? Everybody is standing, a lot of audience watching, and you are standing near your goal post. Your motive is to kick the ball to the other goal post, and you say, I don't care about my team, I don't care about the opponents, I will kick the ball here, it will go and reach the goal post on the other side. Don't you think it is foolish? It is being very, see, in Indian movies a hero also does that. He will hit 100 people and then rescue the hero. That is movie. That is filmy style approach. It is not possible in real life. You have to cooperate with your friends, your team, and slowly get the ball moving from one end to the other. There will be opponents. If an opponent comes and stops the ball, you should not slap him. That's the rule of the game. He will stop you, right? You should ensure that you take the ball slowly and reach near the goal post and then kick. Once in a while only you will get to kick. That is how life is. You must worry about the ball going 1 centimeter ahead. That's all. Okay. There is this very famous technique in martial arts of climbing, holding the rope. They give a wonderful example. They say, when you are holding and climbing the rope, do not see the top. Worry only about putting your hand on top of this hand. Hold the rope tight like this and put your lower hand above. That's all. Keep doing this. This is called mathematical induction. One step at a time. Keep after this. Now the lower hand should come on top. That's all. You need not worry about going. Don't go up. Just keep doing this. Putting your hand up. You will observe that an untrained person also can hold a rope and then go up against the gravity with some decently healthy person, right? But if you see the roof, gone case, right? You know that when you come on the ceiling and then see the ground, you will feel nervous, you will feel like coming out of the ceiling. You should not see the ground. Same is the case with your research also. You must do, third point is process orientation is recommended as opposed to goal orientation. Many people would have given us a lot of funda saying, see the bullseye, to hit the arrow there, etc., etc. It is okay for a simple arrow-like effort, but in life, the bullseye should be there, but it should not appear to you all the time. It will stress you. Okay, I am not saying this. Again, research says this. Okay, Google for this and try to look at this piece of research. You will get a lot of results. Okay. Process orientation is recommended as opposed to goal orientation. That's my third point. And then my fourth point is lethargy to work, unable to progress. I don't like research. I am sure many of you have this problem. Right? Almost every single research scholar has this problem. Who cares whether I do it or not? I am doing it for my promotions. I'm sure majority of us do that. Don't see, this is also true. We should not be Mahans and say, no, I am doing it. So although the intention should be pure, somewhere deep within us in our mind, we all want to become rich. We all want to make a lot of money. We all want to have a fantastic life. Similarly, when you start your research, if the goal is not about research and the goal is more about promotions, etc., forget about goal orientation, process orientation, nothing works there. Lethargy kicks in. Right? We will use weird ways of getting through the PhD program. We will compromise on the quality, pay money to a third person and get the paper done. All these things will happen. So this is where I would like to quote Aristotle. And Aristotle says, the peak of a person's happiness is in intellectual pursuit. We must understand what Aristotle is saying and what we are doing. We think PhD will make me happy. When? After finishing PhD. After finishing PhD, what? Promotions. After that, what? A lot of money. After that, more name, fame. Do you really think that will make us happy? Again, Supreme Court's algorithm. Look at the history. Everyone who has made a lot of money, everyone who has a lot of name and fame is never happy. Never ever happy. That is when these people take up charity. That is when these people take up intellectual pursuit. Now, you have it on your doors. An opportunity to be happy in your life by doing what Aristotle says, which is intellectual pursuit. Right? When happiness comes knocking on the door, we want a backdoor entry into some other route and say that this is going to give me happiness. When we do this, lethargy kicks in. When we do this, expectations come. When we do this, we go out of focus. Right? What else should be a good algorithm? Again, I repeat, I am going by top people. Top people have a very small algorithm. They only do what they like in their sciences, in their engineering. They don't do what they don't like. Or, if this is not possible, they will minimize what they don't like and maximize what they like. Now this is possible. See, if my institute gives me a lot of administrative work, thankfully IITs, we have very less administrative work here. I'm very thankful to be here at an IIT system where we don't generally even take a pen and paper to do any work. Most of it is handled by the administration. But still, some people in the system, they always bring that administrative, anywhere in the world, not just here in India. I have a lot of administration. So of course, yes, there are ways in which we can minimize this unwanted work that you are not interested in and maximize the work that you are interested in. There are people who love administration, they will do that. You should make room for them and you should minimize it and you should maximize what you like working. Again, in research you will have problems. Should I work on something that the world likes? Should I work on something that I like? Then you should go ahead with rule number 1, you must sing for yourself. What if nobody is there to listen to me? People will listen to you after some time. It all takes time. Again, nowhere in the history has someone worked very passionately and nobody has heard him. Never in the history has someone worked on something really remarkable. Srinivasa Ramanujan was sitting in some nook corner of Salem in Tamil Nadu, working on some very advanced mathematics. Nobody cared for it. They thought he was a crackpot. But today there are textbooks written on him, lessons written on him in English texts. Correct? Conferences arranged in his name. So fame will come. Don't say that, sir, it should not come after my death. I'm just giving you extreme examples. If you pursue, I'm sure you will get your share of fame and fame, right? So, coming to this lethargy in work, lethargy happens if you don't see the point of working. The very formula of happiness is in your hands. PhD is the best pursuit one can do to be happy, right? You should not do it to seek happiness tomorrow after your PhD. That is what leads to all disasters. The PhD itself is very happy moment. I am sorry to say this. I'm sure many people will accuse me of this complaint. I was very, very happy during my PhD. Thanks to my institute, my IISc, that gave me a life, and I'm sure Amrit also says this, Thapar Lake Place would have given you a lot of facilities and independence to think and do. See, the advisor will come once and then, Indian teachers have this habit. Simply you should call it student and then patak, one slap. Why? No reason, just like that, one slap and then. डर होना चाहिए टीचर का, okay? That happens in few places. Advisors come, they will probably yell at us, they will tell us the do's and don'ts, they will say you are not working well. वो सब होगा नहीं. You see, I cannot decide to have a kid and expect the kid not to cry. Expect the kid not to pee and poop in the nights. Expect the kid to maintain decorum in my house. But similarly, in PhD, you cannot expect your advisor to be a godlike person who will help you in all walks of your business. No, he is another human being like you. He undergoes the trauma, tension, mood swings just the way you do, right? So accepting all these things, I see that my stay at IISc or any of your alma mater really did your PhD, ask any research scholar, he or she will say that those were the golden moments of my life. How I wish I could get them back. When I was a PhD student, I was seeing my professor. How I wish I had a cabin for myself. How I wish I could sit and then talk, not listen. But now I feel this life is way worse than probably the life of a student where you are given a lot of opportunity to explore what you want. Okay, so PhD is a wonderful phase. Do not let the lethargy not kick in. Understand that Charles Darwin gave up on his money and came and did research because he understood that happiness is through pursuit of knowledge. That pursuit of knowledge is given to you. For some of you, you're even paid stipend to do your research. Right? You're doing part-time or full-time, you're given some opportunity to do this, your share of research. So I request that you make the best use of it. Okay? That's my third point. Lethargy kicks in. Lethargy kicks in if you are not happy doing what you want to do. Okay? This is illogical in my humble opinion, given that people in the past have pursued intellectuality by giving up on other things in their life. Okay, so I will end the third point with a small quote. It says, success does not get you happiness. People say if you're successful, you'll be happy. It is the happiness that will take you to success. You must stay happy all the time. Be it your PhD or post-PhD, you must be wonderfully happy all the time. Once you're happy, automatically problems will come to you. Right? I mean, world is full of problems. I have this big problem with research person. They say, sir, I don't have a problem to work on. World is full of problems. Look at COVID-19. Nobody, sorry for the language, nobody understands a damn about COVID-19 today. By nobody, I mean, do we really know how much time it stays? Do we really know masks are helping? The entire community is divided. Do you really know hydroxychloroquine works? It works. Probably it works, but then there's a debate. You open a news channel, they'll discuss about this is wrong, that is wrong. They take up Ayurveda, allopathy is that, allopathy is this. This is not going to stop for another 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 1.5 years, 2 years. It's going to be for. World is full of questions. World is full of problems. World is full of question marks and conundrums. We should never complain saying, I don't have a research question. It means everything is solved in the world. Right? So please ensure that you never complain about no research problem. World is full of research problems, number one. Coming to the fourth point, okay? Advisor related problems. Know something, you will definitely have this. I'm sorry, this talk is also recorded. I hope nobody goes and shows this video to your advisor and says, someone said I'm going to have problems with you. Let's resolve it right now itself. So understand the theme with which I say you will have advisor related problems. It is the following. The moment you get married, there will be a problem with your spouse. Normal. The moment you have kids, you will have problem as they grow up. Moment you stay in a room with someone as a roommate in your hostel, you will have problems with that person. The point is not to not have problems. The point is to manage these problems. Have you heard of this word, anger management? They don't say cure for anger. They say manage your anger. They don't guarantee that you will not go angry once again. They tell you if you do 1, 2, 3, 4 points, you can handle your anger. You cannot manage not being angry. We all go angry, we all go hungry, okay? We all go upset, we all have a share of mood swings. The point is how to manage it. So this is advisor management. Also there should be a talk on student management. Advisors have more problems with students than students have problems with advisors. Alright, anyways, let me stick to the one side here. Advisor management. Please know, as I repeat, if you want to plan on a kid, if you want to plan on getting married, you must put up with a few problems. With marriage, people say, I have lost my freedom. Obviously, after marriage, I cannot go out and play carrom board for 5 hours a day. Right? There is someone else staying at home. I should take care of that person. So vice versa also holds good. That person also should take care of me. That person cannot behave like a bachelor or a bachelorette. Similarly, I want a kid. I don't want the kid to cry is illogical. With kid comes the crying problem. With kid comes the diaper wetting problem, bed wetting problem. We have to put up with all these things. Similarly, with PhD, with a degree showing that the doctorate prefix comes with a lot of problems, right? For one of the biggest problem is the advisor management. You will not be able to predict your advisor. You will always have some advisor who is not like this advisor. Okay? We all do that now with our spouse, with our kids. We always show someone that he is like that, you are not like that, right? Someone will point you to an advisor who regularly, very diligently checks the paper and helps you write a paper. While some advisors don't overdo that checking. For example, the place where I did my PhD, there is no, generally people do not over involve themselves into your research life. They will treat you like a colleague. They say you are another human being who is interested in doing research, do your research. If you want any help, come. I'm your advisor. Not your sort of equal who will come and do everything for you. It is your duty, you must do it. Right? So advisors come in different shapes, sizes, colors, and you must put up with it. Right? But a decent advisor is someone who will let you come and talk. Okay? Someone who can, I could walk into the office of some professors in my life and tell them I'm having a problem with the course. Don't you think you will appreciate if a student comes into your cabin and says, Madam, I'm not understanding this concept, you're going very fast. Will you abuse him or will you appreciate him? Definitely will appreciate. I'm sure most of us who have taken teaching profession, we have taken it from our heart. Not because of no choice. Okay, if it's no choice, we leave it in like one semester's time. We cannot tolerate it. If you have tolerated teaching for more than 1 year, you have it in you. Okay, you have a teacher in you. When a student comes and says, you say, oh wow, good that you gave me this feedback. Similarly, every advisor doesn't become an advisor just like that. Right? He has a good advisor in him. Sometimes you may have to pinch and wake her or him up by saying, sir, I'm having a problem, can we discuss? No, not now, later, okay, you come later. Right? Later come and then discuss. Not even a single moment has it so happened that some student has come to me and said, sir, I have a problem and I have not given that person a time. Not just me, I'm sure all of you will do it. It's human nature. When someone says, can we sit and talk? Nobody will say, no, I am not interested. Generally, we say, okay, fine, let's sit and talk. What is your problem? Sir, I am finding it problematic. I am sending you this, you are not responding. And other person is finishing his PhD in 3 years. I am not finishing my PhD even after 5 years. What do I do? These kind of talks should not have in the 6th year. You should have in the 2nd year itself. Foreseeing that, look, sir, my PhD probably will go for 6 years. Tell me, how can I finish it early? I am here for passion reasons. I want to do my piece of research that I want to do. I love this problem, but things are not happening. Can you help? Okay, your advisor will definitely talk to you. I don't know of a single professor who doesn't talk when you confront him or her sweetly like this. Also know that the first time when you write your paper and send it to your advisor, definitely there will be abuses from the other side. This happens. You know what I do is, I train my students. I will say, hey, you finish writing a paper, send it to me, I will scold you. Okay, let's practice this session so that you don't feel bad. Because I will feel like scolding you. If I don't scold, I don't feel happy. Right? This is going to happen. So, no, the point I'm trying to make is, this generally happens between advisor and student. Advisors are perfectionists. You will also become an advisor one Friday. Then you will realize why you had a problem back then with your advisor, right? So when you write your paper, there will be so many places where you will make mistakes that your advisor is well versed with, and then they will say, you are not a kid for me to handhold. I will not be doing this, you must do it, but I am not very happy. So please tell me how to do it. No, I will not tell you how to do it, you should figure out. Those things are definitely coming. Okay? When it comes, one thing that you should not do, one thing you must do. One thing you must do is please ignore it, forgive your advisor, treat her or him like your own parent. Parents do explode on you, they go infuriated. Certain things should not happen, see, they should not harass you, by the way. But then, if it's little less than harassment, we can always confront them, talk to them nicely, send out an email to them, and then go and talk to them nicely. Number one. Number two, what you should not do is this is the most dangerous thing in PhD. I'm sure everybody who has finished PhD has understood this. The not to do thing is sitting with another student and then saying my advisor is this, my student says, oh yeah, my advisor is like this. Gone case, your PhD is doomed there. If you form a group of people who will sulk day in and day out, saying, oh nahi ho raha, this is not happening, that is not happening, all because of my advisor, all because of my institute. Moment you start that, it means the virus has entered your body. It is more dangerous than your corona. It will not infect your lungs, it will infect your entire career and your life. You should stay away from that. See, I have decided this, I will be in this institute. I have decided I will choose this advisor. I probably have done it with all care and concern. After that, if I face problem, anger management is I should manage my PhD. PhD management mein karna chahiye. Cribbing leads to a lot of agony to you and to your surroundings also. Don't just go to a person and crib about it. In case someone comes and cribs about PhD to you, avoid talking about it. Tell them Charles Darwin, usefulness of useless knowledge. Okay, quote them some books and ask them to read and get back to you. Do not encourage any kind of foul talking. This will result in more damage to you, your career and your mind. As I told you, successful people are not happy. It is the happy people that bring success. Right? If you are not happy, forever if you are unhappy, obviously you will lose to failure. Okay, that's my fourth point. Fourth point is PhD management. Know that certain things are bound to happen. You have no control over it. Okay, use your patience to talk it out. Don't expect things to happen. You should make it happen by taking the right counseling or counseling others. Do not entertain. Let me go to the next slide. Okay? Do not entertain cribbing and do not crib. Understand the problem. Know that you are alone in your PhD. Sometimes when we realize that we are alone, I think we'll wake up. We should not have a lot of dependency saying that institute should give me money, they are not giving me resources, they are not sending me to the conference, advisor should sit next to me, hold my hand and then help me type the paper. Those things are not going to happen. So know that you are alone in your PhD. This is the fourth and the most important point. If I see 90% or more students who are not doing well, they have some miscommunication with their colleagues or advisor or their researcher. They don't have these things right in their mind. So in this connection, there are so many books saying how to do research, how to do your PhD, etc. Trust me, none of them will work. If these books were to work, everybody would have been a fantastic PhD today. They should be the first book that should be prescribed in your first semester. These things don't work. What works is, I will suggest you 3 beautiful books that you must take a look at. One is, of course, Usefulness of Useless Knowledge. Okay, I will suggest you the next 2 books. I will share my screen now. Okay, look at this, please make a note of it and then read this book. First is The Usefulness of Useless Knowledge. Second is Where Good Ideas Come From. This again talks about how we should give room for natural thinking to prosper and not, be very focused about doing applied work and things like that. He gives, this is called the carrier's thesis. It says, whatever I said, 95% of the research top 100 inventions, if you take, they are done out of pure sciences laboratories, sheer accidents. Okay, please make a note of this. Stephen Johnson, Where Good Ideas Come From. The next one is The Idea Factory. Okay, that will be my 5th and last point. The Idea Factory, Bell Labs and the great age of American innovation. Okay, the word American is less to be stressed there. It is in fact, it holds good for any place for that matter. Okay. So Bell Labs is the fifth and last point. Okay, let me type it out. Abhilash is asking for more information. The important books. Okay, first one is usefulness of useless knowledge. Okay. Let me call it ABC because I've already used number 3. Usefulness of useless knowledge. B is the idea of factory. C is where good ideas come from. The moment you put it on Amazon, you will get the link. There are Kindle books also, you can see it in the browser. Okay. Coming to the So why don't I?
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, sir. Just after completion of your 5th point, which we are going to talk now, the idea factory. Okay, can we start the discussion session with participants? I'm sorry to interrupt. Our talk is wonderful and it's interesting. And I have a more curiosity level, and I also want to ask some questions. So, and similarly, we have a number of questions in the chat box. We have a time bound constraint. Sorry for that.
So, Amrutpalji, what we can do is my 5th point will go less than 1 minute.
Sure.
We can take up questions. After we can take questions. Sure. Excellent. So 5th point is stay open. Why? Again, I'm not saying the book says, the idea factory book says that in Bell Labs what they experimented was there was a rule that everybody should keep their doors open and they should not object anyone from coming inside and then talking to them. Okay, so we should keep our doors open in our research, not hide it from others, saying that he will steal, they will steal. Gone is that era. If anybody steals, we get to know today. Right? So collaboration is very important. It is only through collaboration that people do well. Again, history says, look at a person who has done well in research, he collaborates extensively. He or she does not write 1 or 2 author papers, writes 3-4 author papers. Right? So collaborate extensively, do not be in the shell, go talk to your friends, but at the same time, you may have to do some advisor management because adding your own collaborators, your advisor will not like, or your collaborators will not like. So talk to your collaborators, handle it properly. We all think human beings are very mature, but know that human beings are very mature. The most immature person is myself, rather yourself. Okay, handle everything with maturity. And I think with these 5 points, if you read these books, I have no doubt your PhD will be a super success. Even if it's not a success, you will declare it to be a super success. You should not wait for others to come and declare it. You should declare that it's successful. Stay happy. Happiness leads to good success, not the other way around. Now let's take the questions and probably wind up at the...
Thank you, sir. Thank you for a wonderful talk, sir. Sorry for the time constraint. Actually, we have a limited time, and we will love to hear more from you. And we will try to a session for 2 or 4 hours for with you. And this is a wonderful session. And actually, sir, we have some certain comments. Okay, so it's my request to all participants. So if you want to ask something, if you want to share something with sir, and you have we have 15 to 20 minute session. You can speak up. No need to type anything. You can have a great chat with sir.
I would like to chat.
Hello.
Yes. Please go ahead.
First of all, very good morning. The examples, the way you said everything, that I can really imagine the teaching methodology that you follow during your classes as well. This is very innovative and engaging as well. So this is, I think, is the most important quality a teacher should have to engage someone. So thank you for this session. I loved it. But I had a few questions which I felt myself that I am not able to deduce. Like first, I recently started writing papers 1 year back, research papers. In many journals, many reputed journals, I have sent my first or second review paper, let's say. They always say that we don't accept review papers from beginners or new people. You should have someone else who has a great, whether the quality of the paper is good or bad. I got replies from many journals that we publish only established writers and all. This kind of demoralizes people to write or to do better work for someone, and they do not even entertain that work. that is very demoralizing. So what should we do? Should we go for lesser H-index journals for that matter, or we should aim for those journals only and write a letter instead, or a mail to them to please review the work that I have done?
Okay. See, no amount of requests will they take. Okay. First, let's ask a very rudimentary fundamental question. Why am I writing this review paper? So, why do we even communicate? We communicate saying that, look, I have found something new. Okay. Please take a look at it and then publish it so that others also get to know. That's the hidden meaning behind publication, right? But there is this recent craze for submitting review papers which has its upside and downside. I'm not complaining that review paper should not be sent. The advantage is that advisors generally request students to write review papers so that they get a good hands-on literature. There's no other way. If I say, write and show it to me, you will never show it to your advisor. Right? If he says that go and submit it to a place and then let it get accepted, you will write the review. So the advisor says, go write the review. Upside of it, you will learn something. Downside of it is exactly what you faced. People do not want to take reviews from anyone who is less than 50 years old. It's because someone should be there in the subject for 20 full years to know in and out of what has happened in the subject. And the person should also be an authority. Only then others will listen. See, if Dr. Amritpal ji were to invite someone from 10th standard background to give a talk on how to do research, do you think people will even be there? Right? Even I would say I am a mid-career professor. Someone at the level of 50, 60 years should give this kind of pep talks. I myself am not, that experienced. What I have some 10 years of experience. That's it. Right? So similarly, those people will think like that. They will say that, oh, fine. Why should we take a review article from a PhD student at top class places? Generally, don't take. And I agree there. But there's upside and downside. Every single thing in life will have a plus and a minus. You must see both. Right? But I will give you a small suggestion. Write your review article. If possible, convince people who are forcing you to write a review article saying that, sir or madam, I will write review article, I will show it to you, do a decent work, I will do very good literature, but I would like to go ahead and do my share of research, not be spending my time on getting this review article accepted. At the end of my PhD, once I thoroughly understand the domain, okay, what you can do is you can keep this review article open on archive. There's something called archive.org. I think you people know of it, right? arxmp.org. You can keep it there and then at the same time submit it to a journal also. They will accept it. This is open source place. This is like your own homepage. Submit it there and see if people like your review or not. Do they come and comment? Do they come and email you saying that we have this question, a wonderful review article? Or is it just another review article where hundreds of review articles are already present? Then what's the use? Once you put on archive.org, once it starts getting the views and attention, automatically reviewers will come and tell you, please submit it to our journal. Right? This is the tricks of the trade. Let me write that down. This is the tricks of this trade. You must understand. Okay? You should not feel low when our papers don't get accepted. You should not feel low if our reviews are not being considered. You must ask this question, why am I doing this? Am I contributing to the subject? Then let me create a video lecture like this for 1 or 2 hours reviewing all the articles. If your motive is only that, let me do that. No, our motive sometimes, Abhilash, with all due respect, you are a sweet first year research scholar. I didn't mean to complain against you, but I'm saying that generally when we send these review articles, it is with that desire to get one publication count up. Right? That should not be there. Without that, if you submit, do a wonderful job. Why shouldn't people consider your paper or review article? They definitely will. You take a YouTube lecture, okay? Type a topic. What is your background?
I am from civil engineering background, sir.
Civil engineering. Assume you want to learn some, let's say, I want to learn some strength of materials subject, okay? I go and type on YouTube. Some video comes. It is not making sense. I close it. I open another video, some other video. It is making sense. I watch it without any bias of whether he's from MIT or from a local university. I don't care as long as he's good. Similarly, as long as your review article is good, they will not care who you are. Right? Make them realize that you are good. But upside, downside, I have told you, it is important for you to understand the tricks of the trade. This is how the world is. You have to manage academics in this world. Okay? Yeah, I'll go to the next question.
Yeah,
Nice question.
Yeah, any other participants who would like to ask some question, please? Okay.
Sir, again, then I have another question if someone is not asking. Okay, ma'am, go ahead.
Meenakshi. Okay, Meenakshi.
Ma'am.
Okay, yes, firstly, I would like to thank you, Sudarshan sir, for a very informative session. Sir, as per my experience, or we can say when I started, I want to start my PhD, but I would like that whatever I will do, it should be implemented in, you can say, in useful. It must be useful. But most of the research, I have never seen any of the research, but most of the researches are, valued by their research paper, their publications. They are judged by them. So if I have done my PhD in 4 years or 5 years, but I have only 1 or 2 publications, will I be able to, it will be good for me, or
I got your question. So mostly I have answered it in terms of these 5 points, but then still I would like to reiterate that you see, if me and you and all of us are successful today in this world, the most important person is not you. Probably it's our mother. Mothers generally sacrifice so much. Their name is never taken. Right? Mother gives her share, father gives his share, some distant uncle or aunt gives their share, right? Friends give their share. It's a big ecosystem. Research is also a big ecosystem. Whatever little thing that you give is not even a brick in the wall, it could be a small particle of the brick in the wall. That's how research works. Research cannot be like you take a big block of cement and then keep it there. It's always a small part of the brick that you may want to keep it there. So this is how the profession is. Whatever we do, that's why we say you should be happy doing this. Little drops make the mighty ocean. Little drops make the mighty ocean. We have to accept that you are just a small drop there, not a big reservoir or a tank or a river. Right? But with that acceptance, we will realize that it's okay. My idea is just one idea based on many people's idea. Right? Throughout my life, how many research papers will I write? Maybe another 100 papers if I do really well. What will these 100 papers even mean to the crowd? If someone comes and kills me, okay, this is called the Einstein's killing paradox or something. If I go on the timeline and kill Einstein, do you think theory of relativity would not be known? Someone will come and do it. Correct? That way, we all researchers are insignificant. If we are not there, someone else will come and do it. Correct? So we should not think so much about I want to contribute, I want to do it. The I should be replaced by the collective. Let us all get together and let us all help knowledge go to the next higher level. With this collective comes, fosters better understanding of what is system. We all do well. Individualism should go away. And I'm sure you can do really well. Meenakshi, I have known you from quite some time. So see the collective, feel the collective, and you will do that. Yeah. So
actually the need of the hour is to, when we are going to apply for a job, they search for the publication, they will ask for
correlation.
We are not eligible for that.
That's a correlation. You do very well, you sing well, you keep singing. My Besura Gana with time will become full of story. So it takes time. Yeah. Amrit.
Yeah, any other question, or I would like to share something like, with actually, sir, just 2 or 3 minutes. So when I started my PhD journey, I left a job from data analytics from Bangalore, and there I just like to do something innovative. Before starting PhD, it is a dream of every PhD student to invent something great. But when I'm blessed with a wonderful supportive guide. I just want to mention that if there are 99% advisor related problem, then I am the 1% case which didn't face anything related to that. Okay, and it's a wonderful learning experience for me. And as soon as my final defense was over, like my family was very happy, but I'm the person who's like that. There is something missing. Like I enjoyed the journey, but now we are at the end. So I feel something else, and after my completion of PhD, sir. So again, there is an issue which you have handled very well. Like we have a constraint from even very good institutes from India that we have to make some publications. And during my first 2.5 years, my field of research is probabilistic data structures, and I purely focused to invent some new data structure, and I have invented it again. Every time I submit it to some good journals, then I used to get a reply that we don't accept such such type of theoretical papers or papers with without any big application from the newbies and all that. So I have to choose a field of data analytics. Now I'm doing the like merging the probabilistic data sets. But the main issue which we all Indian researchers face, like after completion of my PhD, I just want to go for some good postdoc in foreign and even in India. I also tried for Raman scholarship in ISC Bangalore and in IIT Bombay. And the main issue with Indian, I don't want to say that Indian IITian or ISC Bangalore professors, they don't reply. The beauty about the foreigner professor is like I have applied to the UBC. They reply in a one line. They reply, you are not in major center. And I have given interview or 2 or 3 places. Actually, sir, the issue is the good research. There are also, I'm not saying that in foreign there is always 100% authentic research. There is also some kind of game is there. So some in some interviews, I was directly asked that how many publication you have, how many publication you can write, or do you write on the topic, this type of, and some good interviews which I say that I have learned a lot and I started writing projects. They are particularly focused on industry related projects. So that is the all like we are missing as an Indian student. I want to just say that I have learned a lot from my PhD. It's like a great transition for me. Now I got a job in MIT. Like the focus is less on postdoc now, but still the issue is, and so just want to just one thing more, that I'm following a professor from Harvard University and MIT. They are like, you can say, top notch in my field. And just like I have published some paper in 2016. Okay, like I have used similar type of machine. I have embedded machine learning with the probabilistic data structure. They have did same time kind. I'm not saying that they stole my idea.
No, I know your point. Yeah, good point. Very good point.
Yeah. In 2018, and they named it a learned data structures. And now there is a worldwide hype related to that. Okay, so so that is the issue. Like for a newbie, if you want to really do some good research, we are facing lots of problems. And again, sir, for promotions, for everything, we have pressure of this publication and all that. So after my PhD, now I would like to pursue some research which is useful in some manner to society. But still, sir, please you can guide something.
Very, very nice question. Amazing. So I think you all should sort of take note of what Dr. Amritpal just said. So I'll go one by one. Firstly, Indian professor versus foreign professor. If you look at Carnegie Mellon University, the applications they get is something less than 1,000. If you look at a typical IIT or even let's say NITs or Thapar University, they get a huge number of applicants because India is a land of people. Okay, there are so many people but less jobs. There are probably there's crunch for jobs there also. They are open for the entire world, but then still in India the number of applicants are very high. So we keep getting emails, maybe we reply or we don't reply. Sometimes we don't feel the need to reply. There for them, they are driven by students who come. If they don't reply, students will not join them. Probably that's the reason, but still I would say, on the courtesy call if I take, any email should deserve a reply. At least say, I am busy, I am not able to answer your question right now. Yeah. That we all should do, but unfortunately somehow we take it for granted that it's okay not to do it. I don't find that nice, right? So we all should practice that, point number one. Point number two is, assume me and you go for some astronomical expedition. You have a very expensive telescope and I have an ordinary binocular. Who will do well? Obviously the one who has a telescope. The one who has a telescope will even define what is astronomy, while I will not have the right to define astronomy. Now, when you are in a place like Stanford, Harvard, Carnegie Mellon, Princeton, and the like, you will be in the limelight of sciences. You will define what is sciences. That's how it is. They get the best people. Once the best people come there, they define what is what. And an ordinary person in some nook corner of the world does something. They have a precedence over it. Even 2 days before, if they invent that, they get the name. Or if they even parallelly invent it, someone from IIT Roper and someone from MIT have parallelly invented it. The one from MIT becomes famous. Again, this is how the world is. But let me put my foot down and tell you all one thing. I would want you all to understand why of this I. I would not want to go and work in a top class institute like that, because for me what I want to maximize is my happiness. What I want to maximize is the kind of research that I can do. In India especially, nobody asks you a question during your promotions, They will not ask how much money did you get. Okay? In some of the top universities, say, what did the institute get out of you? You are a tenured professor, they will not give you tenure, walk out of the institute. They have the right to say that. In India, they are not so strict. We are the land of Atithi Devo Bhava. We will never fire people. Generally we never fire people. Right? They are principle about quality. So if they don't fire, what will happen? We have the freedom to do whatever we want. I want to write a book on a seemingly unrelated topic which interests me. I can do it in India while I cannot do it there. Now, I'm not saying that is bad, this is good. There, the returns are different, investment is different. Here the investment is different, returns are different. If you want to play football, you must play the football field. If I want to play cricket, I cannot play the hockey field. I must play the cricket field. Similarly, although there are problems in Indian academia, I would say if I were to be reborn, I will still choose India as my place of PhD. I will still choose IIT Ropar as my place of work. No, that's because I can do a few things here which I cannot do in hockey field. Right? So that way, I completely agree that this is going to happen, but at the end of the day, let us see, are we happy doing this? Do you give yourself an award for your teaching and research? When I walk out of my class after finishing 1 hour of teaching, okay, I don't care what the students think. I don't care what my administration thinks. I care about what I think. Did I do a good job there? If the answer is no, even if someone comes and gives me a best teaching award, I will not take it. I will take it, but I will not feel good. I will have that. Right? So on the contrary, as I walk out of my class, if I feel pumped up, energized, in that I did a wonderful job when teaching, I gave my best to my students. That is more than enough. Students galia bhi de feedback mein. I will not care much when I am very happy. So this I am very happy is very important, one thing. Second thing, as I was telling Meenakshi ji, it's also about the collective. I am doing well, collectively I am helping everyone to do well. With this motive, see, initially it was Russia, today it is America, tomorrow it will be China, later on it will be India itself. Looks like after COVID, India is going to have a supreme advantage in teaching and research. That's a prediction. We don't know. We should not be playing around with which institute is good right now. If we are happy wherever we are, I think that's what matters. Life is more important. We are humans first, academicians next. Correct? So that way, Amrit Palji have asked a wonderful question which all the research scholars should know. The earlier the better. So don't worry much about all the quantitative stuff. They will come to you. Worry about you as a human being. Foster better opportunities as a collective. Get together, give your hands, and let us together build academics nicely. Than be very individualistic about citations, publications, and things. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I think we have short off by 5 minutes. No questions. Yeah. You can ask me personally.
Yeah. Please, anyone. Okay. So we have.
You have more time? Amrit Palji, I said if you have more time, you can take questions. Otherwise, you can ask me.
Yes, sir. We can take, sir. No issue. I have adjusted my lab for another half an hour. No issues.
Sure.
Please. Okay. And sir, the feedback or the response which we got for this session is wonderful. Okay.
I'm just replying to the chat messages. Many of them are asking for feedback form. I don't know whether to scold me or to rate me low or high, whatever.
Actually, sir,
they want to leave early. Yeah.
We have attendance come feedback form. So on the basis of the how many students means how many participants has attended, we are going to identify that. Okay. So yeah, any question, please? Anybody would like to? Yeah.
Sir, I have another question.
Yeah.
See, I just applied for PhD and I'm still not that. Actually, what happens in majority of institutions is the topic is generally whatever you chose. For an instance, my topic is on green building and green materials. I selected to create a database for the same. If my guide is, let's say, whoever guide I choose, if he or she doesn't exactly align with my idea and tries to change the idea into something else which I really don't feel about, or I can see that I won't be able to do this. For an instance, I completed my master from NITR Chandigarh. There I wanted to do something in green building, so I went to a faculty of green building. then later on I got to know that in order to do this work, I have to learn a few more softwares as well, which are far out of my reach, which I never heard of, like computer and coding and all. But at that time, only after getting halfway to my masters, I got
I got the oral spirit. So the point is, let me summarize what you're saying. You're saying that I come with problem A or interest A, and the advisor will make it problem B or interest B. Okay, then I will lose out interest. Please know this. Okay, I'm suggesting a small video for you. Look at this documentary on Fermat's last theorem by Andrew Raynes. Okay, before that, it is very unlikely that I will get into an institute where I have the kind of professor under whom I can work on the problem of my choice. This is very rare. This is like partner selection. You have a big list of things that you expect from your partner, but the partner will be maybe half satisfied with that. You may have to put up with the other half, right? But know something, during your PhD, a wise idea would be to try to go closer to a topic of interest, but not get into the exact topic, because then you may not do a PhD at all. Okay? But then try to use that opportunity to enter your zone of interest. That's very much possible. Okay? I'll give you instances. For example, I as an advisor, I say work on this topic. But I am also a civil engineer. This topic, any two topics are definitely linked in the world. That you must know. Interdisciplinarity is known to be nice and also hot and happening in the world. Any two topics are linked. You can always link A with B, right? And if your advisor says go learn programming, you have to do it based on all that. Because the advisor knows it's the best. Advisor is responsible for your PhD, right? If you listen to him or her, they will feel guilty if your PhD is not getting work. Okay, 99% of the advisors are responsible. They feel responsible for your PhD. Okay, it is good for you to just listen to your advisor. But I typed something Fermat's last theorem, right? There was this small fellow called Andrew Wiles when he was 10 years old. He said, I want to solve this problem called the Fermat's last theorem. Fermat's last theorem is very easy. 3 square equals 4 square, 5 square equals 3 square plus 4 square. No, Pythagoras theorem. एक जगह में यहाँ पे 5 डालो, यहाँ पे 3 4 डालो, 3 square plus 4 square is 5 square. Fermat's last theorem is it asks the question, cube, if you consider, is there a number whose cube is equal to another number's cube plus another number's cube? The world did not know the answer for it. It's some mathematical question that people did not know that much. Okay, don't worry. Andrew Wiles said, I will solve this problem when he was 10 years old. A world famous problem that nobody solved. Andrew Wiles said, I will solve this problem. And he went to, I think, Princeton, okay, to do his PhD. His advisor said, hey, what is this? Don't put me into trouble. Don't put yourself into trouble. You are saying you will work on a problem that has nothing to do with my research interests. Shut your mouth and do what I am working on, he says. And Andrew Wiles says, what can I do? Okay, I need a PhD, let me do it. And as he is doing his PhD, he realizes after his PhD that, oh, whatever my advisor asked me to work on, unknowingly, this seems to have some link with Fermat's last theorem. And he goes ahead 6 for 8 full years and then solves the problem when he is 42 years old. Watch this video. It is one of the best moments of scientific invention, beautifully captured in this documentary. Also, there is this book called Fermat's Enigma. Take a look at it. It talks about how a person took up some topic and did something that he wanted to do. Right? This temptation of I want to do something but I am unable to do in PhD, please keep it away. It can bother your mind, it can put you to depression. Just work on whatever is possible, finish it quickly, after the world is yours. Now as a professor, I can work on any topic. I can work on civil engineering also if I want. Right? So as a professor, you get that choice, but as a PhD student, it's like taking BTech in computer science and worrying about being an MBBS. Okay, it can be a hassle for you. Finish your BTech and read medicine. Who stops? Correct? This is a very good example of how most, I think, not just you, 70-80% of the students midway into their PhD, they think this is not my topic. Why did I choose this topic? I'm frustrated with this topic. That's very dangerous. Again, you yourself management is also important, not just advisor management. You have to ensure that you don't enter that state. Take a deep breath, finish that, and then the world is yours. Every topic is interesting. I also believe that every single research question is interesting enough. Every single person in the world is a good person. Similarly, every single topic is a good topic to work on. You just should see the bright part of it. That's all. Right? That is why your degree is doctorate in philosophy. They don't give you doctorate in civil engineering. They don't give you doctorate in computer science. They say everything is At this level, metaphysical, you should not call it as this is science, this is anything, this is that. It's a question. Charles Darwin saw that here is a praying mantis which eats itself. Why? It's a question. He did not classify it as biology or chemistry or physics, right? He went ahead and solved the problem, right? Also know something, in every system, this is the last analogy and then I will end this answer. A beautiful analogy that you all should know. In every system, there will always be plus and minus. So is your body also. I will tell you, if you don't want heart attack, you don't want any heart ailment, reduce calcium intake. You should reduce calcium intake. Nothing will happen to your heart. Mostly one will not die of heart attack. But then, if you don't take calcium, your bones will become weak. One will die out of falling and will become bedridden. So if you don't take calcium, your heart, if you don't take calcium, heart is strong, bones go weak. If you overtake calcium, your bones will be very strong, you will be like a pylon. One fine day, I may get a heart attack. Because over intake of calcium is bothering my heart. So there's always trade-off in life. You cannot not say, oh, publication publication industry has come for some reason to solve a problem. It has its share of problems too. You have to face it. Again, tricks of the trade. You must learn it and be mature enough and then handle the situation. Any other question? There are so many, 99 people around. I hardly see only 2-3 people asking questions. I would like to hear more questions. There are people from East, West, North, South India. I want questions from all zones. Go ahead. Any more questions? Yeah, I see someone's mic unmuted. Go ahead. Okay, anyways, I'm pulling you. Don't worry if you don't have. Okay. Manoj, you want to ask a question? Okay.
Sorry, sir?
No. Someone unmuted, so I couldn't.
So, if someone want to ask the question, any type of query, any type of suggestion from the sir, please. We have just 2 or 3 minutes more. Okay.
Last question.
Last question.
I have, since no one is asking, I have another question. So.
I will spend some time with you. I will call and talk to you.
Okay.
So just ping me on, just email me and send you my number and we can talk. This is my email address. I think I sent it already. So any more questions? One last question? If not, then we can probably wind up.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Sanjoy Nikla, please go ahead.
Sir, I have no question, sir. Actually, sir, just a message, sir. I have completed your course in NPTEL Online, the joy of computing Python. And sir, this session also I have watched very joyfully, sir. That is the thing, sir.
Thank you very much. So please write to me, Sanjay. I will keep in touch with you. Okay, my email address is here.
Thank you, sir.
So the second version of the joy of computing is coming up. I will write to you when it comes up. Sequel.
Okay. So thanks for a wonderful session. I would like to say that after so long, we have taken some notes from our session, and especially from our STC, and I have noted down all books which you have, like wonderful books. Okay, and the feedback which we got on comments is wonderful. So thank you, sir. Thank you for sparing your valuable time and sharing your the wonderful session with these participants, and especially like. I can say that it's a truthful session regarding the recent research trends in the, especially in all domains. So we would love to hear from more from you, sir, and we will keep in touch. So thank you, sir. Thank you to all participants for attending this session. Okay, we will like to and if you have any query related to you want to ask to sir, you can directly email to sir. Okay, so sir has shared his email with us. And finally, sir, on the behalf of whole NITJ team, I would like to thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Here on this topic, recent research trends in machine learning. So as Urvashi told all of you that I have done a bit work in machine learning. So but what I'll do here is this, that give you some trends that are there in computer science as a research area. And then I'll give some idea about this growth of machine learning and then machine learning research, how is this growing. then also application areas of machine learning, and then I'll give some basics of machine learning. And I will also demonstrate something that we have done here in Thapar Institute in one of the projects. So I'll try to demonstrate that as well. And please excuse me if I am doing some repetitions here. This is, I believe, 4th day of your course. Bear with me if there are some overlapping ideas that you have already been told by other experts. Okay, I will also give you some ideas, the sites and all from where I have taken some of the pointers here. Okay, let me begin with this research trends in computer science. So there are 2 slides on this. And what I did is this, that I tried to take these areas from net, and I also given you the source. So these in red font, these are the source from where I have taken these trends. Okay, so this is one site, topuniversities.com. So they are saying that artificial intelligence and robotics, big data analytics, computer assisted education. So this is one very interesting area wherein the people are working these days. Bioinformatics and cyber security. So this is what I mean is the viewpoint of one of the web pages on net. Now you can actually see that this computer assisted education is becoming really important, and these days I mean we are doing this course also online. So this is also a growth in, and probably you all know how much the share of Zoom has grown. I mean, I'm happy to note this, that you are using this Google platform here, but many people are using Zoom, and the market share of Zoom has actually increased manifolds in this particular time. And then you know that there are courses being offered online, masters in even computer science. Right, so that is also one interesting area to work upon. Now I took something from IEEE Computer Society, and it is giving me 12 areas, and I have seen this, that some of them are overlapping ones. But now here you see in this first also artificial intelligence is coming. Here also artificial intelligence is coming, and they have mentioned AI in different forms, like artificial intelligence at the edge, AI in critical systems, then AI or ML applied to cyber security, right? So and this one very important area which actually I also saw while making this presentation only, that is adversarial machine learning, AML. So interesting idea. I mean, those who wants to work on the mix of security and machine learning, so they can explore this particular area, adversarial machine learning. Okay, so they say artificial intelligence at the edge. So it means that the ML applications, artificial intelligence applications that are there in our physical world. So where are I mean they are doing ML applications in physical world that is close to us, right? Very close to us. So that kind of an idea. For example, your assisted driving, so those kind of developments. And this is also important, that I have not seen many people working in this kind of an area, non-volatile memory products, right? So but probably for some of us this is also an interesting area to work. And then digital twins, including cognitive twins. So this is also one area wherein many developments are taking place, and especially I mean if we can do something in this cognitive twins. So something is being done using cognitive sciences. Okay, AI and critical systems, and then practical delivery drones. I know, I mean, in India, this has not happened for positive things, but I believe many of you might be remembering some news that some some kind of delivery was done from the neighboring country, wherein some kind of pistols and all were involved. Right, so this is a delivery system that will actually grow. I mean, this kind of a delivery system that will grow, and then you might be knowing that Amazon has done a good number of experiments on this, and in US probably going to start this soon. Additive manufacturing, community skills for robots. I mean, this is also important, so that the robots can actually behave like human beings. Okay, while writing this particular idea, I actually remembered one movie. Probably all the participants must have seen that movie by Rajnikant. Do you remember that movie, Chitti? Chitti was the robot there. And then he actually saw that probably one day the robot will have some kind of skills that the human beings possess. Okay, AI and ML in cybersecurity, legal and security, privacy, adversarial machine learning, reliability and safety challenges for intelligent system and quantum computing. So these are some areas that are there, and I believe all these areas will keep on growing into next decade. Okay, but you see here that artificial intelligence is coming probably in 50% of the areas. So this machine learning and artificial intelligence, I believe this particular area will dominate in next decade, next 20 years, I believe. And I have seen it that the growth of this area is not there only in computer science. I have seen here in Thapar Institute itself that the people in biotechnology, I mean, probably you will find that one of the areas here somewhere that of that area definitely is very known area. But biotechnologists, they use machine learning heavily, but the mechanical engineers, the electrical engineers, I mean, they again use it in a different form, like they do some kind of image processing using ML, right? So but mechanical engineers, civil engineers, so civil engineers, they use machine learning for predicting the strength of concrete. Right, so you find probably in next 10 years, you'll find every area wherein machine learning will be applied in one way or the other. Okay, then this is one more current trends in CSA. So they are again say deep learning, blockchain technology, IoT, robotics, and they have also included one more interesting area, which is big data analytics. Now this is also one area wherein people have a lot of opportunities. People will have a lot of opportunity to work, and also for their students work, they will get good jobs here if they work here. Cloud computing, cyber security, virtual reality, and predictive analytics. I mean, here this predictive analytics, you can think of that is a part of big data analytics in one form. So making predictions. Now this making predictions again involves machine learning in one form. Okay, then this one more site that I browse, eStudy India. Now they say natural language processing as an individual of computer science. Then they say social networks and then social network science in CS research. Okay, so this is also one very important area wherein people are doing. Let me tell you that I have not seen in my institute, and also not in other institutes in India. This social networks analysis is becoming one full-fledged course in many institutions abroad. Okay, 4G, 5G networks in computer science research, AI in computer science, social media analysis in computer science. So these are, I mean, this particular site says that these will be the areas in next few years. One blogger I saw, she was saying that AI, ML, robotic process automation. So this is also one very interesting area. And edge computing and virtual reality and augmented reality. Augmented reality. So these will be the areas here. And I also saw something on LinkedIn. So they say big data. So bioinformatics, as what I was mentioning, so biotechnologists, they are working here in this bioinformatics area. Then cloud computing, AI, deep learning. Now, I did this research in last week only. So I tried to find so I just gave this research trends in computer science, and I got lot many sites. From some sites, I took this particular material just to show you only one point, that you see that machine learning, artificial intelligence, I mean, that is coming across the sites. So you see that machine learning and artificial intelligence, I mean, applied to different areas, is probably one very important research area in computer science. And I believe this will keep on growing as well. And this growth, which I am mentioning again, it's not from my side only. I have again done some idea on this site, this Forbes.com. Right, so you can also browse this particular site, and they have done some kind of predictions based on. First, they have done some analysis on the data, and then they have done some predictions. Okay, so you can browse this later on, but what do they say? 75% of Netflix users select films recommended to them by companies' machine learning algorithms, and this is the growth of market. So I'll give you some slides here from this particular site, Forbes.com itself, so that just to make a point that machine learning is an area which is growing and probably will keep on going for times to come, at least 15-20 years, I believe. Okay, so this is the idea that from 2000 to 2015, the research papers in AI has increased ninefold. Ninefold increase from 96 to 2015 in the publications on artificial intelligence. And there have been 6-fold increase in the annual investment levels by venture capitals. Venture capital investors into US for AI startups. So it has been a 9-fold increase here. You see some more graphs. So there has been a 14-fold increase in the number of active AI startups since 2000. 14-fold increase. And similarly, the startups are increasing. So the share of job requiring AI skills, this has also grown 4.5 times to 11 times since 2013 to 2018. So this data is up to. So you'll see that they have given the data for different timelines. But I mean the jobs are increasing by 4.5-fold to 11-fold. So this is a tremendous increase in this particular field. Now, this from this side, Monster.com, what they say that machine learning, deep learning, and NLP are the 3 most skills. So these skills are there in demand, and you know that at this particular point of the time, also this demand has not decreased. Even in this COVID period, the demand has not decreased. Okay. Now this is the next graph is actually important to probably browse. In the sense, what does it say? That error rates for image labeling have fallen from 28.5% to below 2.5% since 2010. Okay, so in 2010, so this is accuracy mentioned here. So accuracy of the systems, average accuracy of the systems was around 72%. Right, so 71.5% they say, but now this has come to a level wherein this is 97.5%. And I mean this particular thing, I mean you can argue with me that why are you saying that best human performance is 95%. Right, so one can debate on this. So this will depend from person to person, but on an average, we are also, as we human beings also make errors in actually giving a label to some image, right? But what they are saying that even a good image labeler is actually giving an accuracy that is even more than the human beings. I mean, this is what is being claimed, and this is also true. I mean, the area wherein I work, this is the area. I mean, that's why I'm saying this is important. At least for this graph is important. At least for me, that the image is. I work here in this image prediction or labeling of the image, or identifying or classifying an image into some class. So you will see that here. I'll give you some idea in the demonstration. But what is being claimed is this, that this error has decreased to 2.5%. Interesting idea. And you might be knowing that there are competitions being organized by some organizations, right? That this is one interesting competition, large scale visual recognition competition, right? So people in that competition, so these results are from that competition, that the error rate has increased to 2.5%. Okay, so this is the development in robo manufacturing, and then what is the idea that, so internationally robo imports have risen from around 100,000 in 2000 to 250,000 in 2015. So right, so again, I mean, these robots are heavily using machine learning algorithms. Okay, so this gives one idea that how this revenue of the company is, that involves AI somehow in their operations, is projected to be $31.2 billion in 2015. Right, and if we take the base year as 2018, then this is 52.59% increase. 52.5% increase annually is the idea, I mean, that they are saying. So this is a tremendous growth in this particular area. Okay, and then they are saying is that 84% of enterprises believe investing in AI will lead to greater competitive advantages. So these are some parameters on which they did found some statistics based on which they are saying that 84% of the enterprises believe investing in AI will lead to greater competitive advantages. And the last, this is 87% of current AI adopters said they were using or considering using AI for sales forecasting and for improving email marketing. Okay, so I just thought that let me give you this feel that this machine learning since it has grown tremendously in last decade and probably will keep on growing in the next decade as well. Okay, I am sorry again here that whatsoever I am giving you might have seen it in one form or the other earlier, right? But yes, bear with me till I go to my presentation wherein I am having my own work that I will like to share with you. Okay, so you know that machine learning applications are great in this social media. So you have this concept of people you may know, and you try to find how Facebook is actually giving us that information, that how they tell us that, do you know this person, right? So you try to find that, and probably what people are claiming that, Facebook knows it how they are doing, but they have not revealed it. So this will be an interesting area to work upon, that how is that being done, or developing your own better algorithm. Facial recognition, I don't need to say this, but you all know this, that how a face is recognized So they say that there are around 100 reference points based on which the face is recognized, and this particular application is actually maturing. Probably here the accuracy is very high when we think of face recognition. Okay, this ML applications in marketing and sales. You know this that how this is being used in marketing. So you know that you probably get the recommendations from the sites that you purchase this kind of a gadget, or you go to this restaurant. So they keep on finding where are you going for your dining and all, and then based on that and your tastes and previous order history, they say that this restaurant is good for you. And customer support, so using the chatbots is also an interesting area. So for the sake of just one idea to all the participants here, that so the chatbots exist, right? So they are, you know that different chatbots are available, right? But I mean, you can give a small project to your students that you actually work upon developing a chatbot, right? So that will be a very interesting UG or PG, not PG, but probably UG project. So I tried to give this to my students this time, wherein I asked them to build a bot where that particular bot should understand Punjabi. So I'll say something in Punjabi, "Tusi gana gao," like that. So I'll say in Punjabi, and then it will take some action. So what I mean to say here is this, that the students will learn that what are the technologies that they need to learn in order to implement this kind of a chatbot, right? So the chatbots, they use machine learning and natural language processing, right? So the students will have to work upon different NLP algorithms and also some kind of machine learning algorithms as well. Okay, and giving them a human touch, as actually probably this will take some time, that the human touch, actual human touch, probably we will have to wait for that. Okay, machine learning applications in video surveillance. I mean, this is also one area wherein this is being used. So what they do is this, that the unusual behavior of the user is actually tracked. So what is that? What that behavior can be, say, standing motionless for a long time, stumbling or napping on benches, etc. And so system gives this alarm to a human attendant, and then we can take some action before the actual problem takes place. Okay, need to explain this. All of us know this, that machine learning application in traveling. So Google Maps is one interesting area that tells me different ideas, that how much time will you take from reaching from one place to other place, different routes given by that particular tool. And then another common application of ML is dynamic pricing, right? And probably you know that Uber makes use of machine learning to define price surge hours for predicting the rider demand, right? So these are some applications here. And then machine learning applications in healthcare. Okay, so this is what I mentioned you, that in my institute, some of the faculty members, they are working in this oncology. That means and specifically say one faculty member is working with PGI Chandigarh to identify whether a specific cell in human body is cancerous or not, right? And then so based on the images of that particular cell, that particular tissue, they identify whether this is a growth of some difficult growth in human body, or it's not that difficult, right? So this is the challenge is this, that machine does it with the same accuracy as a trained physician, right? And probably people will soon actually get this kind of an accuracy. And similarly, ML is used in pathology to diagnose various diseases by analyzing bodily fluids, right? Okay, let me give you here. We also did some work in this particular machine learning application in healthcare. We are in actually this Atul Bansal is one my PhD student. So we worked on determining diabetes using iris recognition system, right? And we also got here fairly good results. And Dr. Agarwal actually extended that work with one more student. I was not part of that, but this is one publication wherein you can find, and some more publications of Dr. Ravindra Agarwal here. Right. So the here also, I mean, we used classification techniques in order to based on the iris image, whether we decided whether a person is having the diabetes or one is not having the diabetes. Okay, machine learning applications in smartphone. So I have covered some of them. For example, this personal visual assistant, Siri, Alexa, Cortana, etc. So they can tell us that what is my schedule today. Give me flights from Chandigarh to Mumbai. So this is what I was telling you, that I tried this particular semester, last semester, I tried to develop a physical device of this particular form that will accept the voice in Punjabi. So somebody is speaking in Punjabi and it will be accepted and then acted upon. But unfortunately, due to this COVID and all, so they have done a prototype, so that particular assistant is running on Windows platform. So but they have to port that into some physical device. I don't know whether the students will be able to do that or not. So ML-based speech recognition, that uses NLP to interact with the users and formulate a response accordingly. There is one very interesting thing here, that when we do this machine learning for speech recognition, so when we do speech recognition, so here you will find that there are limited features. So people keep on using some specific set of features. Now this area, I mean, if somebody can work here in proposing new features for speech recognition, that will be an interesting area to work upon. And image recognition, I mean, I would probably all of you, if you are working in computer science, you know that this is very interesting area to work in computer science. Okay, I mean, if you have not seen this, please try this particular tool, Seeing AI. If you have not seen this, this will be a key. That means, and then you can actually see what kind of technologies are being used here in this particular tool, Seeing AI. And this tool will run on iPhone, I believe. I don't know whether they have given the Android version or not. Right, and let me just add here that last year we received a project from DST. We are in this is the name of the project MI. So what we are doing here is this, that we are developing a tool for Android-based tool for visually challenged persons. Right, so that tool will tell them that you are in an indoor environment or you are in an outdoor environment. You are going towards a road, you are going towards a building, right? And then once you are there inside your room, then in the room environment, the tool should be able to tell the persons, those visually challenged persons, that okay, you are your bottle. This is the bottle here. Your chair is there. Your other articles are there. Right, so this kind of a development we are doing. So, and here we obviously the recognition will also be a part here. That means if somebody comes to meet him, then based on that tool, the tool will tell them, okay, so and so has come. And top of it, so what we are trying that this should be a tool that is actually I mean, images, faces, or the images of particles, that person, visually challenged person, will be able to add his or her own images or face images, etc. Right. So this is one thing probably I wanted to share with you. Okay, and I mean this is probably we had this meeting on the last Friday of the evaluation meeting of this project. And I came to know that there are 2 more projects of the similar nature given by DSC. And what I'm trying to convey is this, that this is also an area wherein you can pitch in and you can find funding opportunities. Okay. This is email spamming and malware filtering. I'll not cover this. So this is very initial idea from where the machine learning started. Naive algorithm for deciding whether an email is spam or not. And then online customer support using chatbots. This is a repetition probably. And refining of search engine results. Online fraud detection. So PayPal is actually using ML for protecting against money laundering, and the company uses a set of tools that helps them to compare millions of transactions taking place and distinguish between legitimate and illegitimate transaction. Okay, and dot means that this is not an exhaustive list. I mean, you can find one other application area of machine learning. Okay, hello Urvashi.
Yes, sir. Hello. Amritpal in this side, sir.
Hello Amritpal. So, is it possible that I take some questions if somebody has some question here?
Yeah, sure, sir, sure. Okay, dear participants, if you have some questions related to the topic which sir had discussed till now, you can feel free to discuss with sir. You can unmute yourself and discuss, or you can, if you have some network issues, you can drop your question in chat box. I will read it for this, sir.
Okay, so why I'm saying is that probably I'll take a bit rest.
Yeah, no issues, no issues.
It's difficult to speak continuously for 2 hours.
Okay.
Yes, please. Okay.
Okay. So, sir, just one question from my side. Okay. Just said that we are shifting on the from machine learning to AI to deep learning and so on. So, sir, for the research scholar who are just at the starting stage of their career. So, can you guide them to from where to start? Some of my students, they are they are MTech in second semester. So they came to me and they said, okay, sir, we have implemented RNN, or we are working on deep learning, but they don't even basically know about the regression and all. Basic concepts are not clear to students, and they are jumping directly to the sum. You can understand, sir. So can you please guide the students who are interested in machine learning, from where to start if someone is new to field?
Actually, you are asking me a question which I should answer in the last, I believe.
Okay, sir.
I will definitely do that. Probably once I do that presentation of my work which I did, some of you will learn it. I mean, how can we start? Right. So I'll definitely, I'm noting this. I'll definitely give the answer of this question. How can one start for this?
Okay, so we have one more question, sir, from Ridhima Rani. Sir, are there any algorithm currently available in ML to work with storage optimization?
Storage of what?
Ridhima, you can just unmute and discuss with sir. Storage of big data, sir. She's talking about storage of big data.
Okay, storage of optimizing the storage of data.
Yeah.
See, actually, this is one conflicting kind of idea that she is asking. So, machine learning works on data, and in this next slides, you will see that as we increase the size of the data, as we, it is supposed that my algorithm will work better.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Yeah, sir, that's true. So the more input we provide.
And if she asking me the optimization in the sense that, say, the data set is having, say, the size of the data set is 1,000, right? And she's asking me that, if she's asking me that there is some performance based on this size, 1,000 size. Now, if I reduce to this 90, when the performance reduce, and if she's asking me that idea, then probably she's asking me something related with the PCA, or sometimes we call that as dimensionality reduction.
Dimensional reduction, yes, sir.
Is she asking that question? Is she asking that thing? So storage optimization means that only?
Yes, sir.
Ridhima is saying yes, sir. Okay. Okay.
You
So
can just click on the message box which is displaying on your screen, and you will able to see the questions. Just on the 2:40 p.m. Just a close icon near at the top, sir. Near my picture. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a little bit. The near to time, sir. There is a message icon where time is displaying. It's 2:41 p.m. So just.
Okay. Yes, this message.
Yeah. Here. Yes. Okay. So yeah, Ridhima has asked that as the data is increasing at exponential rate on cloud. So I think she's asking on like some optimization in cloud and maybe some dimensionality reduction.
Okay, so Ridhima, point is this that, so you will see this definition by Tom Michel of machine learning. I'll just give you that. I'll start my next lecture with that. So what that definition says is this, that as you increase the data, your performance of the algorithm should increase. This is what is mentioned. Now, this exponential increase which you are saying, as data is increasing at exponential rate, I will never use that data. So the data which is relevant for my application is actually important. Right. So I'll try to collect that data which is relevant to my application. And so what she's saying, and some privacy preservation approaches using neural networks. Yeah. So okay. So probably we'll get it. So when you are interested in doing this using this privacy preservation, then your algorithm will work 100% with 100% accuracy if you have whole of the data related with this that will exist in nature, that is existing or will exist in nature. Then your algorithm will work 100% with 100% accuracy. But that is not a possibility, right? Possibility in the sense that you cannot actually have that 100% data with you. That is not possible. So the data which is there in future, you don't know what kind of data will that be. So what I mean to say is this, that a related data with your particular problem, you keep on increasing that. Now what they are saying is this, that you keep on increasing the size of the data, your algorithm should work better and better. Now what the idea here is this, that say you are satisfied with 99.5% accuracy, suppose. Now in that particular accuracy, should I take the data with size 1000, or I should take the data with size 2000? So that is one point that comes into picture when we take this idea of dimensionality reduction. So that is what is the idea, right? So I mean, as the experts say that as you increase the size of the data, the accuracy should increase. So privacy preservation approaches. So what kind of privacy you want to preserve here, Ridhima? So this is also interesting to find new areas where this neural networks can be applied. Okay, users' personal data. I got it now. So you will have to find probably this kind of data. Okay. She is probably mentioned. She is interested in actually probably say we are chatting here. Then my privacy should be maintained. She chatted with somebody else on Facebook, then privacy should be maintained. Probably she's talking that kind of an idea.
Yes, sir. So there is another problem. Like I have read a few days back, like the big giants of e-commerce. So no, they all have their customer list, and they all have identified that who are the fraud customer who usually do fraud. So they want to just create a platform where they can share the information of customers, but only the fraudulent one and the personal details of the other customers they can save it from their competitors and all that. So such kind of user personal information maybe she's talking about.
But I don't know. I mean, how is she saying that a neural network is used here? I'm not getting it. How is she saying that neural networks are used in privacy preservation? Okay, Ridhima, if you wish, we can talk one-to-one someday, and then probably I will understand your problem better. Okay, let me go back to my presentation.
Yeah, sure, sir.
So can you see this screen?
Yes, sir. Machine learning, some basics. Yeah.
Okay, basics are not very basic things. I mean, probably I'll try to explain some things which may interest you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this is the definition I was talking. This definition. This is a book on machine learning by him, and you see this particular application, this particular definition. What does he say? So a computer program is said to learn from experience E with respect to some class of tasks and performance measure P. If its performance at tasks in T as measured by P improves with experience E. Right? So if your experience is increasing, then your performance should increase on some task T. Okay, let me just explain this using this idea of face recognition. Right, so there is a program, computer program that recognizes the faces of human beings. So what is experience here? So experience is nothing but the photographs of human beings. So that is my experience. Right, what is task? Task is my actually recognizing the face is my task, and performance measure is, I mean, I'll give you some measures in next slides, but so you can think of accuracy. Right, so accuracy is measure. So accuracy should increase. Right. So we say that the program is learning, is actually learning. If its performance at tasks in T, that is this performance accuracy of the face recognition as measured by P. So accuracy of face recognition improves with experience in E. So if I improve the experience E, if I increase the number of photographs of somebody, then my performance for that particular task should increase. And then only we say that my computer program is actually learning. Right, so this is an interesting definition. And if you take any example of machine learning tasks, this definition actually is that fits very, very correctly in every kind of situation. Okay, so I mean, it's also a good idea to go through that book by Tom Michel, machine learning book by Tom Michel. So interesting book. Okay, so from where the people can work in machine learning. So what are the overlapping areas? So statistics is one, and you will see that why the statistics is there in my next slides. Then brain models, the people working in brain models, people working in adaptive control theory, psychology, AI, evolutionary models. And if you club all these things, then the people can work in machine learning areas. So these kind of ideas you require. Okay, so my background, actually I did my PhD in statistics, and then you will see that here onwards you will find lot many things that revolve around statistics actually. And I will also give you that why is this that important. Okay. So what is the process of machine learning? So the madam who asked me questions, probably she should actually see this particular slide carefully. So what is the process? So machine learning process includes algorithms, improving the algorithm performance, or some tasks with experience. Right. So this is what is again taken from that definition. So this includes algorithms, and we try to improve the algorithm based on the tasks with the experience. And then we optimize the performance criteria using example data or past experience, right? And the role of statistics actually is this, that whatsoever data you take the data set of the images, you take the data set of emails, you take the data set of the human behavior, that means your liking or dislikings, you're going to some restaurant, you're actually buying some specific material. So all those are nothing but your data, right? And that data in statistics is actually called as sample. So everything actually that we do is nothing but that we actually pen down is nothing but a sample associated with some variable, right? So what is the role of statistics? The role of statistics is this, that I want inferences from that sample. And right, so here what people have done is this, that they have clubbed this statistics and idea of optimization technique. This optimization, one idea from optimization, and this idea of sampling from statistics, that they clubbed, and then using some other points, that means motivated by some different ideas, they proposed different algorithms, right? So role of computer science is that we have to go give efficient algorithms to solve optimization problem. So I'll give you that optimization problem probably in one of the slides, which optimization problem I'm talking. And then representing and evaluating the model for inference. So representing what is the how my model is represented, and then how my model is evaluated. So these are this is the basic process of machine learning, right? Okay, you will understand it probably as I go to the next slides. You will understand what I am talking. Okay, so applications I'll leave. I mean, I have already covered these applications in one form or the other in my earlier slides. But I mean, this is also one interesting idea to see. Okay, so what are different machine learning representations? So representations means that the data that I have acquired in the form of some samples, how will I put that data or the information or the knowledge from that data into a computer program? So that is nothing but my representation of the representation of the data, and we also sometimes call these as machine learning models. These are also called as machine learning models. So representation means that how am I going to represent the knowledge present in my samples, right? And this is not an exhaustive list again. So there are different kind of representations. So decision tree, set of rules or logic programs, instances, graphical models, Bayes models, Markov models, neural networks, support vector machines, ensembled models, that means a combination of the models, and then convolution neural networks. So this is one interesting area that has come up, right? So what I'm trying to say is this, that, and let me say again that this list is not exhaustive. You will find one, you will find some other representations of machine learning as some other representations as well. So you will find some other models as well, right? But what I will do is this, that I'll take something. So people, as actually this question was asked, not asked. So this Amrit Pal said something that there are different kind of idea, neural networks, then AI, and then CNNs and all. So from where we should start, right? So what I'm saying, what probably my take is this, that this day the deep learning techniques are giving you the best performance this day, right? But this is not always true that this will keep on giving a good keep on giving the best performance. There may be some other representation that will take over someday to this CNNs. Maybe, I'm not saying that it will happen, but it may happen. So you in next slides you will come to know that there are different kind of ideas that have come up, right? But what I am saying, on this day, since CNNs are the performance of CNNs is best, so let us start working on the CNNs. So if a student wants to work, and so he should start learning how the CNNs work. Now if one wants to know how the CNN works, then they must know how the neural networks work. Right, so first is this, the fundamental idea is this, that what is a neural network and how the neural network works, how do we represent these different ideas of what is that, layers, input layer, hidden layer, first hidden layer, second hidden layer, and output layer. So what does that mean, and how the data is propagated in different layers? One should start from. And then slowly they should go to CNNs. Okay, let me give you the fundamental difference between neural networks and convolution neural networks, and for that matter, machine learning and deep learning. The fundamental difference is this, that in neural networks, we actually used to extract the features from data. In neural networks, the features were extracted by us. So you will see lot many feature extraction techniques that in the literature, lot many feature extraction techniques, right? And what the change has taken place in deep learning, in CNNs, is this, that we don't need to give the features to the network. Only we need to give the input, and the network itself extracts the features from the data. Right. So here we used to give the features, but now in CNNs the feature is extracted on its own. This is one very interesting idea, and what people have implemented is this, that so you will see that in CNNs there are lot many layers, and what is being what not being thought of, what has been shown is this, that the different layers, they acquire different features from the data set. The different layers acquire different features from the data set. Right. So Amrit Pal, if somebody is interested in working in machine learning, so as on this day, this deep learning techniques are best.
Okay, sir.
And then so one should actually, as I mentioned, one should go through that book by Tom Michel. And there is one. There are other developments in deep learning, right? So one can go through this. But what is fundamental difference is this, that here in CNNs we don't need to extract the features. So one particular aspect has gone here in CNNs, that of extracting the features.
And sir, there is one more question in chat box by Dr. Sumit Kumar. He want to ask that how one can decide that which approach we need to deploy to obtain, or you can say use for a particular task or obtain a better result. So
okay. Probably my answer is this, that for this the theory is not available.
Okay.
Theory is not available that for this particular task you work on decision trees or set of rules or instances or neural networks or support vector machines or CNNs. The theory is not available for this, and theory is not available even to decide. So okay, so as I mentioned to you that CNNs are performing best this day, so you work on CNNs. Now you will see that CNNs have a number of parameters.
Yes.
Now again the theory is not available that how many layers I should use, what should be my filter size in different layers. So that theory is again not available. So what people do is this, that they do the experimentation. So they have a problem and they have say 2-3 methods, 2-3 models that they apply, and based on that particular model, they say that this model is giving me the best performance. Now the catch is simple that for a specific size of the data, so data size is say 10,000.
Okay.
Then neural networks can work better. But if you take the data size as 12,000, it's possible that support vector machines are performing better. So why is this happening is the idea here that, which I probably gave you, for a specific situation, if I have all possible data available with me, then I can decide that, okay, this representation is best. Right, this is one thing. And the second thing is this, that all these models which I am mentioning here, they have been proposed by the human beings, by us, right? Right? So, nobody knows it that people are working even refining these models. This actually is happening. People keep on actually proposing better and better model. Right? So, saying this, that which particular model will be best, probably in my lifetime, I cannot say that this is the best model. You get me? So it's not possible to give the best model. So there are the research is going on in actually giving us the best model. This is what is happening in the world. Right? But having said that, this is true that once suppose you have a specific size of the data set, and then on that data set you start you say that you will use these 2-3 models, and based on that you say that this model performs best, and for all the models, almost all the models, you will have associated parameters, right, which you will have to tune. Tuning the parameters is one interesting idea that you must do. So what I am saying is that you can say that my neural network is performing better, but you have not tuned the support vector machine carefully. So if you tune the support vector machine carefully, it's possible that it's working better than neural network. Right? So parameters are also important with these models. Okay, any other question?
No. Okay. Not now, sir, till now. We have only one question while you are delivering the talk. And there is one more by Dr. Sumit again. How to balancing of data and pooling strategies helping in improving the performance of CNN?
I didn't get you.
Actually, sir, you can, if you can read this. This one, sir, data from.
How the balancing of data and pooling strategies help in improving the performance of CNN? We will usually change these parameters within CNN and called them modified CNNs. Okay. See, balancing of data means that say I have 10 classes, so I should have almost equal instances for each class, right? So this is otherwise a general idea that okay, Sumit, you should actually think of machine working as a human being, right? So if you keep on browsing this, what will I do with this data as a human being? What will I do with this data? How will I understand the things? And what they have done is this, that they have tried to mimic the human behavior in these networks. That how people actually behave with specific situations. This they have tried. I mean, this is not complete mapping of human brain working. This is not complete mapping. So this is some mathematical model of the human brain. Right, so you will not see only one variation in CNN. You will find n number of variations there. So this is what I mentioned to you, that probably in my lifetime I will not be able to see the best performing model. So there will be some even better model tomorrow. And next year there will be better model. And this is actually a challenge for all the young minds that work on developing a better model. Right, so if you say that this is the last thing, no, this is not here. So I'll give you some idea here, wherein you will see that how the situations have changed from NN to SVM, again to CNN, right? You will see that here. Okay, any other question?
No, sir.
Okay, Sumit, so let me go here. So these are some evaluation models. So in this definition, so this particular thing which I am saying, machine learning representations. So in this definition, so what this represents, what exactly? Those representations are what? So in this definition, so that relates to E, T, P idea to which this representation will correspond. Anybody?
Yes, sir.
So I am asking that, and I have given you some, these are some models here, right?
Okay.
Machine learning models. So what I am saying is this, that in this definition here, this relates to what exactly?
Sir, they are basically based on some performance measure.
No, they are, I mean, here if you see this definition, so they are nothing but my programs.
Programs, okay.
They are nothing but my computer programs actually.
Programs, okay.
So those models, I mean, there are different kind of models that are there. So these are the programs that we are talking here. Okay, so we have to actually measure the performance of these particular programs. And the performance is measured using this accuracy, precision and recall, squared error, likelihood, posterior probability, cost, margin, entropy, KL divergence, ROC. Okay, so probably entropy I should have written here as the last one. Entropy is actually used as the evaluation technique in deep learning. Entropy is used as the technique in deep learning. And what the entropy is? Entropy actually here, that the name is cross entropy, right? And cross entropy is, if you remember Amit Pal, so we have some distribution, this X distribution and Y distribution.
Yes,
right? So cross entropy is the measurement between measurement of difference between the two distributions. So it's how far the two distributions are. So that is actually taken into entropy. Now you all of you should appreciate this simple idea that machine works on numbers. So everything that we are doing, so this evaluation method, I should get some kind of number there. So entropy is also nothing but we get some number, but what these number are? So this number is the relationship between two distributions. So I am having the actual distribution and I am having the distribution from the model. Right, so we compare those two models using this cross entropy here. Right, so if you are really interested, so this is one other idea that a student should know every term here. How is this defined and how is this calculated? Okay, now I'll give you, so I have given you in this definition two things. One is what is the computer program, and I have given you the performance measure here, P. So I'll give you this T and E in my next idea, wherein I'll demonstrate you the work that we have done here. Okay. So I'm tempted to take these three slides actually here, and then I'll go to this demonstration. And then these are actually interesting ideas about neural networks. So here they say that there are three types of this history of neural network. Hello.
Hello, yes, sir.
So type 1 is this, that when the networks were proposed, and this happened in 1942, right? And this was given by Makula and Pitts. So the mathematical model of neurons, that how the neurons work in brain, how the neurons function in brain. So that model was given by Makula and Pitts in 1942. I mean, this is one interesting area, interesting idea to actually go through the work of these two guys, Makula and Pitts. You will see that, I mean, what kind of different representations they have made. In fact, it took me also to go through one paper of them and one paper of theirs. It took around 1 week for me to follow that paper. Right, but you see that how this small idea has changed the entire world this day. And then in 1949, first learning rule, that is nothing but memorizing by adapting weights, and this was given by Professor Hab. Right, so that was first learning rule, and it was proposed by him in 1949. Then in 1958, first book on perceptron came, and wherein they say that it was said that a machine capable to classify information by adapting weights. So this book was by Rosenblatt. And in 1960-62, adaptive Adaline and LMS learning rule by Widrow and Hoff, these were proposed. I believe all of you are understanding what does it mean by a learning rule. Yes or no? Should I explain?
Yes.
So learning rule is nothing but, so neural networks are built on layers and connection between layers, right?
Yes.
So initially we take the connections as random weights, and then using some kind of learning, we actually change that weights, so that for a given input I get the exact output, right? So and then in 1969, this limitation of perceptron was actually proposed by Widrow and Hoff again using XOR function. Now, whosoever is taking a course on machine learning here, whosoever, he should actually explain this idea of XOR function, why a simple neuron cannot learn XOR function. A simple neuron, it can learn OR function and function well. But when it comes to XOR function, I need to take a quadratic function. That means I need to take some kind of processing in between, which they actually came up with the idea of this activation function. So I need to have some kind of activation function here in order to implement XOR. So if you are anybody here taking a course on ML, one should tell the students how a neural network is actually formulated for OR function, AND function, and for a EXOR function, right? So you will understand, I mean, what was the idea that, so limitations of perceptron was given. And then after this 1969, there was not a great progress in this neural networks, but there were some very devoted researchers who kept on working. Grossberg in US, MA and Fukushima in Japan, Kohanen in Finland, and Taylor in UK. So they kept on working on this, and it came in 1982. The second tide of this neural networks came, and wherein in 1982 Kohanen described his self-organizing map. Then Rommel Hart discovers back propagation, and this was one interesting discovery actually by this Rommel Hart, the back propagation algorithm. So this is also one more interesting idea that if someone is interested in working CNNs and all machine learning, then one should seriously know this back propagation algorithm. right? I do, if I in my ML course, I do take this mathematics to the students, how this backpropagation works. Okay, in 1987, we had new journals, conferences on neural networks, and see, in 1995, what happened is this, that one other model came, support vector machine, and people showed that this is performing better than CNNs, better than neural networks, right? And fortunately or unfortunately, the idea that I will be actually giving you my work which we have done here. So in that work also we used the support vector machine actually, right? Okay, so so this emphasizes my point that you never know which model will perform better better than the previous model. So here in 1995, around 95 support vector machines, they perform better than neural networks. But people keep on working on neural networks. They keep on refining the ideas, and they kept on working at different levels. And now there is a variant of neural networks which we say deep learning technologies. So they perform better than even support vector machine this day. So that's what I am saying, that you don't know, people machines also this day, and they can come up that okay, no, this is even better than deep learning approaches. Okay. And this is the third tide wherein this concept of deep learning came. So this was first introduced by Lee Kohn and Bangio and their convolution neural networks. So this particular term was coined by these two scientists in 2000. In 2006, Hinton pre-training of multi-layer neural network and Boltzmann machine. This particular researcher, Jeffrey Hinton, and if you actually see his work, so you will understand how the people work for so passionately to develop a specific area. The Hinton actually, he is considered as the father of deep learning. So he worked for around 15 years to develop this particular idea with his students. Right. And then in 2007, we had even improved results. In 2011, the state of the art in deep learning, feed-forward networks, alternative convolution layers, and max pooling layers. So that people keep on defining the ideas of CNNs. And as on this day, there is wide use and interest in research and applications in speech, image, video of neural networks in the form of convolution neural networks. Okay. So if someone is really interested in, I have taken here one slide wherein different tools are mentioned. These are some free tools available: CNTK, Deep Learning 4i. I have also taken R here, right? TensorFlow, Python, PyTorch. So these are our open source software. We have some proprietary software with open source additions in a K9 rapid miner, and then we also have some paid software kind of list, right? So these are the software that you can we are paid. On Statistica is here, and probably it should also be IBM SPSS. MATLAB is here, and then Mathematica should also be here somewhere. Mathematica is also a good tool to work upon. This Mathematica is also here. Okay. So with this, probably I finish this. Basics of machine learning. If anybody has some question, then one can ask. Otherwise, I'll go to this this idea of my demonstration here. Yes, anybody has some doubt?
Please continue, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let me go to that particular thing here. So you can browse this slide, this particular interface. Hello?
Yes, sir. We can see this, the smart writing panel. Yeah.
Okay, so So probably someone of you can be there online so that I can interact here.
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Okay. So as you can see, this is a smart writing manual for Gurmukhi script, right? So so if I write something here, so for example, ka, this is the letter in Punjabi, and here you see that it is recognized, right?
Yes, sir.
If we hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is clear.
If I write say bada bada likhta hu main, and then I recognize it is recognized, right? If I write here in the corner, and it is recognized. If I write in some other corner, it is recognized, right? And there are other intricacies that probably I'll ask someone. So I write it quickly, right? And then I write it slowly. Can you guess that I'm writing slowly and quickly?
Yes, sir.
So I am writing quickly, right? And I am right. So I gave you some idea that I'm writing it. So here in this particular situation, what we need to do is this, that we need to do some kind of idea that I take it to a uniform thing, and that is called as pre-processing. So we need to do some pre-processing here. So what will happen that if I write it very quickly, then what will happen? So if I write quickly, then what will happen? So here, I mean, one should understand this, that let me give you this idea that so this is in the interface to recognize Gurmukhi characters and words. We can actually recognize the word. Let's see if I write this here that say, and then I am writing right. So this word is also recognized.
Yes.
Right?
Indeed.
Okay. So this is an interface developed for recognizing Gurmukhi characters and words. And I'll also give you some there is one, if you see this, that and sessions too, I'll come to here also. So here this is one machine learning application. Right.
Sir, just sorry to interrupt you. Sir, I have a class now. Now Dr. Prashant Kumar will interact with you. Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. So hello, Prashant.
Namaskar, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
So this is one application that has been developed by us here in one project for recognizing Gurmukhi characters and words. Right. Now let me take one simple thing, that so this is ka here. Right. So now this is what I am doing is the testing of that particular model that we have built. That I am writing it, and then you are browsing it, that this is performing correctly. That I am writing kakka here. Now a model actually has to be trained. So training means what? That I will give a number of instances of this particular shape. So for machine, this is a shape. So I'll keep on giving a number of shapes, right? So I'll give I'll give here 200 shapes for this particular type, and what I'll do is I'll decide one representation. Probably everybody remembers here what does it mean by representation. Means that I will decide some model. So I will feed these particular images to a model, and then I will train the model. Now this is not there that for example for this particular application itself, it's not there that I am having only ka. So we are having other characters also. So this is here. Then I am having this, right? So what I am saying is this, that for any specific situation, it's not there that you will have only one class. So this is a class. For example, if I am writing here, so this is one class here that I am writing. This is another class that I am writing here. Right. So for any situation, when you apply machine learning idea, there will not be only one class. There will be several classes. For example, here in this development, we have worked with the probably 87 classes, right? So we have to define those classes. So one thing is this, that we need to define the classes, and then we have to take the instances of those classes, and we call them as training patterns, right? And if actually you see it actually in literature, then these are called as say row column data, right? So we have some patterns, and then pro class 1, sorry, the instance for class 1, then again 1, then 2, 3, and so on, and then we are adding here some values corresponding to class 1, right? So this kind of a data is actually used for a particular representation. So if you take any representation, you need this kind of the data. Now how this data is being generated for a specific situation, this depends. For example, here in this particular case, if I am having this a class, then what my data is nothing but these points that are captured by this particular interface. So those points are taken as my data corresponding to a class, right? So this is one, this is other data for the same class, the other data for the same class. So this way we have a data for one class, data for second class, data for third class, and so on. Right. So one madam asked this question that I don't know. So dimension reduction की बात कर रहे थे शायद. So reduction means that for a specific class, say I represent it using say 200 points. So should I do that, or I should work only with 100 points? Or I should work only with 50 points, right? So that is what is the reducing the size of the data. Okay, so that is one technique, dimension reduction, which you can actually see later on. But here what we have done is this, that we have we have the instances of different classes. This class, one instance, second instance, and so on. So we have around 100 classes of each instance, and 100 instances for each class, and there are say around 83 classes. And this data is also available online. I mean, if you want to work, anybody wants to work, you can write an email to me, and then I'll give you the link where this data is actually available for research purposes. Okay. Now, is it clear that did you get this, that yes, hello. Can you see this interface, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now there are intricacies, the complexities, right? So I'm writing here, recognized. So I'm writing it some other place, then also recognized. So this kind of idea is actually handled in pre-processing phase. So I have to do something with this, that I'm writing on one extreme, or I'm writing on the other extreme, or I'm writing in between, or I'm writing with large size or small size. So these are the complexities that are to be handled in one phase, which we call as the pre-processing phase. And pre-processing phase is also many times called as data cleaning phase. You have to clean your data before taking it to some algorithm. So that cleaning is to be done probably for every data set, or you take any situations, you do need to clean your data. Okay. And if I write quickly and I write slowly, so what is the difference? Difference is this, that here when I am doing it quickly, I will have less points captured. If I am writing it slowly, I'll have more points captured. Now that idea again has to be taken to some situation wherein, say, when I'm dealing with it, say I have to take some uniform number of points. Okay, so again, this is also handled again in my pre-processing phase. Okay, before I move further, let me give you one more, and probably you will appreciate where will this be handled. So I'm writing, so this is pa in Gurmukhi, right? And then I'm having, say, here, if I write this line, this is other. If I write here, then this is other. And if I write here and here, then this is other symbol. Right, there are 4 different symbols. Hello?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Sir, this is beside Prashant.
Prashant, okay, yes, Prashant, you are
Yes,
able
sir,
to...
yes, sir.
Okay.
Bilkul, sir. It is very clear, and I must say it is an excellent presentation.
So these are 4 different characters in Punjabi. Now, so I mean, I cannot take this as a class, this again as a class, this again as a class, this again as a class. This cannot be done, right? So what we have done is this, that we have handled these kind of intricacies in these kind of complexities in post-processing phase. There is one more phase that is here, which is called as the post-processing phase. Okay. Before I move to the idea of these suggestions, so here let me ask one thing, probably if somebody is interested in answering. So we go to the definition back. So there were terms T, P, and E. Right. So E is my experience. So what is experience here? So writing this is one experience for me. The other experience, the other experience, the other experience. So experience in this particular situation will be different aksharas, different characters written. So that is my experience. So what is the definition says that if I will have more experiences, my accuracy should increase. That is what is the idea. That's if you increase these experiences, that means if you keep on writing more and more classes, then your experience is increasing and your accuracy or your performance should actually increase. Okay. So task is what? Task probably now you can actually easily guess. Is this that my task is that I want to accurately predict what is this symbol. This is my task. And then performance measure which we have taken here in this work is accuracy. That how accurate my model is. But you can have other performance measures as well. Okay. There were some other interesting. There are some interesting characters in Punjabi. So this is cool. This is not that complex. But you see that if you see this character, this is very complex one. Complex why? I mean, the right is say so. I'll write it again, and you will see that my algorithm will fail. Right. So if you write, I mean, there should be some kind of similarity that is there. So, but if you do this, again, it is the पुराना ही capture कर लिया. Let me do it again. This should also work. Right, and then there is one very interesting character in Punjabi. That is this one. What is this, Prashant? Do you know Punjabi?
No, sir. Sorry.
Somebody who knows Punjabi here can answer.
Anyone from participants?
अरे तो कुछ भी नहीं चल रहा है अभी. Okay, let me do this. So this is what? Lalla in Punjabi. So these people write very differently. Say somebody is writing like this in 2 strokes. La. This not came. Sorry. Okay, so this is here that this lalla is very typical character in Punjabi. So we had to actually tackle this in my post-processing phase. Okay, now I come to these two things which are here, the suggestion and suggestion 2. So here, actually I explained to you all the idea of how a machine learning algorithm is actually working for a specific problem, that is by recognizing the characters of Gurmukhi script. Okay, let me give you one more idea here, probably which you will all appreciate, and then you will also understand that how can we integrate the natural language processing with the. Okay, so let me take this. So this is my raw, and then I write ma here. Say so this is my raw and ma separately, and I combine them. So this becomes my. This is not combined with a combined name. I'll undo this. And I get here. Why now? Why not? Okay, no. Let me recognize this ram there. Sorry. There's some issue. Okay. And then I'm writing ma, and I combine them to form a single word. So this becomes ram, right? And then I take this to my suggestion list here, and then I take one more word from my idea. I know this that then only my these suggestions will work. Okay. Now what I do, I just click this suggestion here, and I get a list here, wherein I am getting some suggestions. Ram de Pavitr, Ram de Disha, Ram de what is this? Mode, Ram de Puttar. So I can take some suggestion here. So for example, I take the first one here, and then I get this Ram de Pavitr. And then if I click this suggestion here, then something which I have written here on this particular box that will appear. And if I click the suggestion 2, then it will automatically give some other suggestion. So now you see that it is giving Ram de Pavitr Dihade. Right, so if you keep on clicking suggestion 2, so it will keep on giving you some suggestions. So if I take this Pavitr, Ram de Pavitr Dihade Bare, I take again suggestion 2, so it gives me some suggestions here. Okay, and if you actually write here, something and recognize that, then there will be some other word, and then suggestions will again come. Anybody can guess what kind of technology or idea will be, or methodology has been used here? Anybody can guess it? Yes? Any participant, please? So what kind of methodology might have been used here? Yes, please. No idea. Anybody will throw a light on the technology here, which is probably based on which I can give the suggestion or suggestion 2 which we have taken? No idea. Hello, Prashant?
No, sir.
Okay. Any Ridhima is saying classification, not classification, Ridhima. The classification is done for the earlier one. So I am writing ka there. So I am writing some symbol there, and then it is recognizing. So that is classification approach, right? But here, so what I am asking you, I have classified something Ram, and then I wrote de, Ram de came, and then I press suggestion, and it gives me some suggestions, a list of suggestions there. So that list of suggestions, how does that list come? So what is the process or methodology that is used in giving those in giving those suggestions? One should give some, at least. How many are here? 67, 68 people are here. At least someone should answer it, at least one.
Some dictionary-based techniques, sir?
Who is this? Prashant?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Not exactly dictionary. Dictionary has words only, no?
Yes, sir.
Dictionary does not have the suggestions. If you take dictionary, the dictionary is a set of words put in some manner. But it cannot be. But yes, words are here. How are those words come? This is what I am asking. जगन्नाथ घोष जी, आप बताएंगे? Okay, nobody. Okay, so if anybody is working or is interested in working in NLP, then this is one interesting area that one should explore is modeling. That is N-gram modeling. Okay, and if you want to do this N-gram modeling, then you should actually be good in learn, or you will have to learn before that your conditional probability. You will have to, I'm writing that in your chat box. N-gram modeling and conditional probability. So these are the crux ideas that you should actually look into before going any NLP work. Any NLP work, believe in me. So you want to do anything on natural language processing, you must know these two ideas. Conditional probability even before N-gram modeling. How this conditional probability is working, and then how this, what does it mean by Markovian model? Markovian models. So you should also look for these terms. How the Markovian models play a role in NLP. Right, so if you want to do that, you must actually work these particular things. If you want to do anything in NLP, and this is also true. I mean, in next probably 5-10 years, you will find that in every year you will find one application or the other of NLP. कहीं भी आप जाएंगे, NLP की application आपको 100% मिलेगी. Okay, so how does this N-gram modeling work? It's simple. If you remember that what I did here is this, that I wrote here Ram and they. So I wrote here this Ram and they, right? And then I press this suggestion. So what the idea is this, that based on these two words, what is the next probable word? The next probable word is Pavitra. Probable means that I am asking you with some probability. For example, here if I click here suggestion 2, so if I click this, then Ramdev Pavitra Dihade Bare, what is that next is coming from my suggestion list is this. Right, this is coming from my suggestion list, right? I mean, these are same thing that are coming. So what does it say? It has ended its suggestions now. So I have to write something here in order to invoke that suggestion list again, right? So what the idea here is this, that given the first two words Ram De, what is the probability that Pavitra will come? And that is nothing but my Ram De and Pavitra. What is the probability of Ram De Pavitra? What is the probability of Ram De Dihade? Ram De Sham, Ram De Ghar. Right, so what are these probabilities? So those probabilities are coming here. Now how are these coming? So these words are coming based on the 3-gram probabilities. That what is the probability that these three words will come together, and where are they coming? So where are they coming? So this is what Prashant mentioned. He mentioned as dictionary. No, dictionary is not correct idea. So words are coming together in some kind of corpus, right? So you have to work on some corpus. So this actually is a very large corpus that we actually took from a Ministry of Information Technology. They have their technology development cell. there is a TDIL code. So there is a website of TDIL. You can go to that site and you can register yourself. Many resources which you can actually freely download, freely work on that, and all those are related with natural language processing. So this is not here that only Punjabi is known. You will find the resources for Hindi, you will find the resources for Bangla, you will find the resources for Malayalam, Gujarati. So you will find there. That is also one idea that TDIL is the TDIL site you will have to find. Okay, so we took a corpus from there and we used that corpus in order to build the 3-gram probabilities, and then we got those answers actually. Okay, I go back to my last slide here, which actually gives you some idea that how has that system been built, right? So I mentioned you that there are 3 phases: pre-processing phase, recognition phase, and the post-processing phase. What do we do in pre-processing phase is this, that we take a word as input. So input is taken, suppose this word Ram is taken as input, and then what we do is this, that we do some kind of pre-processing. In pre-processing, we do identification of the zone. Zone in Punjabi means that upper zone where upper matra is there, then this is middle zone, and then there is lower zone where the lower matras are there. And this kind of structure is there with all Indian languages. Removal of duplicate points, that means if I am writing slowly, then there are more points, then I will remove the duplicate points. Size normalization means that I am writing a large kaka or a small kaka, then I will take that to the same level. Interpolation means that when I am writing very with a higher speed, I am writing very quickly, then what will happen is this, that some points will be missed. So we can interpolate those points and then regenerate some points in between. And then this resampling of the points means with the points that are missing, then we can resample them. Okay, so we have this particular text that is obtained. So this text is nothing but my training file. And then this is actually, so this is my text for this particular Ram ke liye text hai. And then we recognize it using, as I mentioned to you here in this particular model, we have used support vector machine as the representation of model. The model used here was a support vector machine, right? And we need to do these ideas with support vector machine. So we have these files from our training model, and then once we have this, so recognizer will give me class labels, and class labels means now if you see this, if you can see different colors, then those are actually different classes here. So this red color, green color, blue color, and what is this? Say black color. So there are 4 classes here that are here in this particular input. So we do the post processing, and then post-processing will actually help, will be done using character or oblique word formation using finite state automata. So that idea is used in order to actually predict. So I am writing 2 strokes. So what will be the formation from these 2 strokes? Right. So so that has been done. And then output comes as my this letter based on some specific font. Okay, so there are certain things that actually needs to be handled even now. I mean, this is not the complete idea. People can work further here. So here, so for example, if I write here, see, so there are some intricacies that need to be handled. So this is ga, right? So this is recognized correctly. Now, if you see this idea here that, say I told you that I'm writing this here, then this is recognized correctly. But if I do this thing that I'm writing this is large and this is small, you see what happens? Okay, this is done correctly. So there could be some more large, smaller. Right, do you see that it gave you a different character? I mean, this is also true that nobody will write like this, but so there are some kind of approximation, some kind of assumptions that one has to make in order to do any work there. Okay, then this ROM is fed to my language model, and that language model will give me different suggestions based on different modeling approach, 1 gram models or 3 gram models. So we have experimented with 4 gram models also, but we saw that our 3 gram model suggestions were the best. So they gave the best performance. So 3 gram modeling approach here worked very well in Gurmukhi script. Okay, I will probably, I don't have anything else here to mention you. I thank you thank you all, and I am open for questions, please.
Thank you very much, sir, for this very excellent presentation. And now I invite all the participants, if they have any query, then they can ask.
Yeah. So what is this feedback link?
So I am just sharing. Participants has to provide feedback upon this session, sir.
Prashant, you also share the feedback with me. Is it possible?
Yes, sir. Definitely, we will share with you.
Please share. So it's always there now. So probably at this stage also I would like to improve.
That's so nice of you, sir. However, we can see the feedback in this chat section only, and if I read one of this, so here is Manavalan, and he says that excellent presentation is made by today's second session host. Using exceptional talk with this brilliant PPTs, immense thank to today's resource person, Professor R.K. Sharma, Upper University. So
yeah, I will appreciate all this if someone asks some question. So
anyone, please.
Yeah. So one should be actually forthcoming in actually asking questions. We Indians have this tendency that we don't ask questions. We should. I also did not used to ask when I was in my 30s, early 30s. मैं भी नहीं पूछता था questions. But yes, I mean probably this tendency should grow in our country.
Yes.
पूछे जाएं क्वेश्चन एक दूसरे को पूछे नहीं. बहुत बार क्या होता है कि आप छोटी छोटी चीजें के लिए स्टार्टअप हो जाते हैं, वो इतना छोटी होती है और फिर धीरे धीरे वो बड़ी बन जाती है.
जी.
हमेशा ये सोचते हुए कि नहीं, it doesn't matter if I ask question and that question is not that great. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter. Believe in me, सब लोग भूल जाएंगे कुछ दिन बाद कि इसलिए क्या. क्वेश्चन पूछना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. दिस इज a request to all the participants. You ask me question, if you want to ask, I'll be answering it to the ability, to the best of my ability here. But if you don't want to ask it now, you please make this a tendency to ask questions.
So anyone? Probably not, sir. So I must thank you, sir. Thank you for this very excellent presentation, and I think one of the best presentation that I have listened, at least in online mode. I must say it. However, I just joined you in the last couple of minutes, last 20 or 25 minutes, because I have a lecture in previous work. So,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes, one second. This one thing, somebody is here. This is AM Naruto.
Yes, sir.
So he's asking, I'm mechanical engineer, but this field is more interesting and deep. I am trying to understand each and everything. Okay, for his knowledge, let me give one idea. He's mechanical engineer, the engineering candidate. Then, Naruto, are you here, please? Can you hear me? You write here yes or no on the chat box. Naruto. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So I visited once IIT Chennai. Right. I worked there as Dean of Faculty Affairs. So faculty recruitment के लिए I had to go there. Naruto, you understand Hindi? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so I went there, and there was one PhD student whom I interacted with. So what? Mechanical engineering में एक बड़ा important problem है ball and bearing का wear and tear guess करना. So ball and bearing, they keep on revolving, and before a large or a fatal error or fatal happens, or something very great happens, something very bad happens, they try to replace those balls inside that. You know what they were doing? Had some kind of device that they had put with those bearings, and the sound signals were being captured after a specific interval, say after every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes, every 4 minutes. So those signals were captured. So they were being done 24 hours, say. So you have a file here. And then that sound signals were analyzed to decide the health of that ball bearing. So to get me, Naruto, so they were doing this. So I was and in that particular analysis of signals, they were using deep learning technique. So I was so amazed to see that. I mean, this is also interesting to find a new area where something can be applied. I remember the words of one of my directors here, Professor Mukherjee. He said once to me that Dr. Sharma, research is nothing but apply others' knowledge in your area. Apply others' knowledge in your area. So you find, so what I suggest to all the participants here, don't go to the conference of your area. Go to the conferences of other areas, so that you get actually different ideas, and then you apply those ideas into your work. I remember this. I mean, he said this to me once that, and he told me that I am doing this even that day. I mean, that this conversation happened around 6-7 years back. So he told me that I am doing this even today. So this is one interesting thing. He was a professor from IIT Bombay. Now he is in Australia. So I'm saying this due to this point that you can actually rely on this information. I'm better.
No, sir. We rely in your words only. So.
Okay, then if there is not any other question.
So many thanks once again, sir.
Thank
It's
you.
really informative and really an eye-opening session. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks from my side, and wish you all the very best to all the participants.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Namaskar, sir.
Bye-bye.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I want to know something about adversarial learning, if it is possible. I am at a early stage, and I don't know where to start in. I want to work in adversarial learning.
हाँ, so now is आप कहाँ से बोल रही हैं?
Yes, sir. Pardon, sir.
आप कहाँ से बोल रही हैं? You are
Yes, sir. I am from Ludhiana, and I am doing my research at NIT Jalandhar only.
Oh, great. So मैंने बताया ना, ये अगर आप उस एरिया में काम करना चाहते हैं, दैट इज द कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ सिक्योरिटी एस्पेक्ट्स एंड मशीन लर्निंग एस्पेक्ट्स. सो इसका मतलब है कि आप मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम्स को कैसे निगेटिव पीपल क्रैक करेंगे, ये आइडिया है उसमें.
Yes, sir.
So it means that you have to be good at machine learning and also at security, information security kind of things. उन दोनों में अच्छा पड़ेगा आपको. उन दोनों के आप पेपर्स डाउनलोड करिए, मशीन लर्निंग के और सिक्योरिटी इश्यूज इन मशीन लर्निंग, and find a path.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Very interesting area. This will certainly grow in next few years. Certainly it will grow. क्योंकि जो भी एक अच्छा डेवलपमेंट होता है, उसके साथ साथ नेगेटिव डेवलपमेंट भी होते ही हैं. There you will find people who will try to track all these machine learning algorithms and all. तो मतलब ये है कि आपने एक एल्गोरिथम बनाया जो कि फ्रॉड्स डिटेक्ट कर रहा है. तो जो फ्रॉड्स करने वाले हैं वो क्या करने की कोशिश करेंगे कि जो मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम है उसको बेवकूफ बनाया जाए, जिससे कि वो एक्चुअली तो फ्रॉड कर रहा है लेकिन उसको रिप्रेजेंट ऐसे किया जाए कि करेक्ट ट्रांजैक्शन है, ये वैलिड ट्रांजैक्शन है. ठीक है, तो इस टाइप का काम शुरू करें. उसके लिए ये एडवर्सेरियल मशीन लर्निंग का पॉइंट. तो ये अभी इतना कमाल हुआ, दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग आइडिया, सो यू कैन स्टार्ट वर्किंग हियर.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Very.
ओके.
Anyone else participants? No one, sir. So thank you once again, sir.
Okay, and thank you so much. Wish you all the very best once again.
Thank you, sir.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Also. So participants, you can share your valuable feedback in the link provided. So I'm just again pasting the link. So please provide your feedback.
So I'm closing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.